yet? Hang on. Oh. Any sound yet? Hello? Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. How's that? How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if that's better. All right, so right now, no echo. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, sorry guys. What the hell? What the hell? That is weird as crap. That is weird as crap. See, this is the weird thing about my software. Sometimes I have to have something. Now I have an echo. Now I have an echo. All right, so tell me if this goes away. Tell me if this goes away. This shouldn't. Give it a second. Is the echo still there? I do not understand my software when it does this. This shouldn't. There we go. That should have no echo. It is so weird. What I had to do was engage. I had to turn my mic on, then off. Then I had to unmute and remute my mic on my software, and suddenly it seems to be okay. All right. Thank you very much, Slowburn. Thank you for that. Actually, Slowburn, I am going to go over here. And I don't know if I can do this really quick. Hang on. Thank you very much. You must have. Hang on here. Give me a second. I'm actually doing something here. Okay, let's do with that. Right there. There you go, Slowburn. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate when somebody actually warns me. All right, so let me get going here to answer Slowburn's question. The dog on the right is Gemma. She is a rescue we got about 4.5 years ago in Green Bay, Wisconsin area. She was abused, so it took some work. She used to be scared of everybody and everything. Her DNA says she is Labrador, Pit Bull, Boxer, Great Pyrenees, German Shepherd, and a couple others, and 2 ancient breeds, so she's a super mutt. She's about 77 pounds. The middle dog is Riker, a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, our only non-rescue ever. My wife had never had a puppy, and we love the breed. We rescued one before. He is 95 pounds, and just Chesapeake Bay Retriever. The one on the left is my little dog. She is Grace, my foster fail. About 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago, we got her. I said I'd foster her because of an emergency need for a foster. We ended up keeping her. Her DNA shows she is half Husky, half Weimaraner. And her parents were both purebreds, so there's no variance. So we don't know why somebody did that. But she is 55, 56 pounds. So, yeah, I don't know why my software does that. Sometimes my software, I have to mute, unmute. Because you run your mic in a type of mute when you're doing live, or it echoes. Now, if you're doing recordings, you have to hit that unmute and do it the other way. For some reason, it just blocked it. So, thank you, Slowburn. Much appreciated. And I will get my houndy hounds off here and say howdy for good this time. Now you can hear and see me. Jay Watterson, how you doing, buddy? All right, echo is gone. Perhaps if you do the hokey pokey. Yeah, no kidding. And it's weird. I don't use some of the software others do, but they have problems with their software. Well, I get that. I had to mute, unmute, change the setting, and click, 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 on and off, and poof. Okay, so we're up and running. How is everybody doing on this Saturday? Well, it depends where you're at, because I've had some people come in my, from, obviously New Zealand, for those of you who've been here. Slowburn. By the way, Slowburn, you got a wrench. So thank you for that. Hey, and thank you for the subscribe over on Rumble, by the way, buddy. I appreciate it. You have rescued a pit 8 years now. Man, I'll tell you what. Pit bulls do have a problem, but it's not because of the breed. It's because of the way people have bred them and treated them. People have bred the pit bulls that have the aggressiveness in them. They breed them for that because, I like my badass ghetto dog. Problem is that has messed with the breed. But also they treat them like crap. But I'll tell you what, I know people that have pit bulls are just the most loving. My brother has a half pit bull, half Rottweiler, her little chubby meatball looking thing, and she is a sweetheart. So yeah, it is Amazing. Oh, oh God, I didn't see. No, Jax is upstairs. He's sleeping on my wife's lap. I actually shut the upstairs door. The cats can get through, but he's sleeping on her lap right now. She's watching a Cubs game with all the animals around her. She is surrounded by 3 good-sized dogs and 2 cats. So, yeah, but don't tempt him. He might hear you, Jay Watterson. How's it going? But no, it's been kind of a little bit slower, hey, for Donald Trump, quiet news day. But I was going to do something, and I don't know if we're going to watch all of it. I don't know if I can get in trouble here. I don't think so because of fair use. And I know a lot of fair use law. I did a lot of reading on it. Even though YouTube doesn't like to follow fair use. I watched the Tim Pool Culture War cast earlier today. Went through the whole thing and watched it. And actually it was a good show, but I had a problem with it. The whole debate was based on a bullcrap Democrat premise. A bullcrap Democrat premise, and I think most of the debate should not have been done the way it was. They really let it be framed badly. Let me click myself down here and we'll get a look at, let's see here. I'll shrink me down to there. Boom. All right. It's debating Trump's deportation of illegal aliens. The Culture War Live. Now, I do agree with Tim Pool. Probably 70, 75% of the time, honestly. Maybe even 80. I will definitely call out some of his issues at times, as anybody honest should, as I'm betting Tim would say, if I have an issue, no problem, and anybody else should. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched much of Tim Pool or his Culture War podcast, which I think are some of his best. They are really good, some of the discussions they have. This one I had a problem with the whole debate. Trump's deportation of illegal aliens, because they go off on a false premise, and I will talk about this as we go. Well, I don't know if we'll do the whole, 2 hours. I doubt that. Sorry, I got a pop-up popping up. Stop doing that. Get off my screen. Quit. Good grief. They are really trying to sell me something over here. Good grief. We probably won't do the whole 2 hours. I will tell you to go over to watch Tim Pool himself. In fact, I will share the link here real quick. Copy. Hang on here. I got to puff me up a little because I was told not to show certain things when I'm streaming. There we go. All right. Now I will go over here and share you this link. Paste. There's the link to his Rumble stream on this video we're about to go over. So let me pull me back down so we can go over this some stuff. Boing. But I will try to move me out of the way as much as possible. Let me catch up with you guys in chat real quick. I saw somebody else. Ryan Jones, gotta hate Pisco. Oh, yeah. See, I've never heard of the guy until Tim has talked to him the last couple times, and I went and looked at him online because of this today. Yeah, he's literally a Destiny wannabe. Now, I'm almost saying that's mean to this guy, because Destiny, with his spurging out his absolute insane takes, it makes this guy's takes look sane. As you guys will see, by the way, Ryan Jones, welcome, and I appreciate you coming in with a good, I mean, you don't have to agree with me on everything, but yeah, I did not know this guy, and what a goofball. He is everything wrong with the Democrat Party. And there is a God, I'll discuss it right in early on. I'm not going to bury the lead too much in you guys. But the whole debate and what he goes after is biased. And they unfortunately let him keep that biased stance that the whole debate is kind of based off of. So yeah, the whole episode is really rough. Yes, so you did watch it. Okay. Dude, it was rough. And I didn't even know much about the guy. I've seen him when he was a week or two ago debating with somebody else over stuff here on Timcast. But whoa. By the way, Tim is pretty cool with using his stuff as long as there's pretty active commentary. I hope so. I know I'm a tiny channel, but I really do like commentary. I have no problem stopping and answering questions. That's why I shared the link also. If anybody knows, I don't do a lot of reaction streams, but I believe anybody that feels they disagree with any debate, any video, should have that right to do under fair use reactions. So yeah, I've never seen Tim get too crappy about it. I think Tim is of the thought that if his stuff gets out there, as long as nobody's falsely framing him or just falsely attacking him, yes, I see. After watching Tim for years, I believe he is okay with that and has not. I've never seen him really go after people unless they false frame or, straw man his stuff wrongly. So yes, thank you. Slowburn, you didn't see it. Well, I shared the link, and after this, I feel free to go watch it. In fact, I'd recommend you go watch it without my butt talking over or pausing. I don't know whether to go through the whole 2 hours, because once I state the false premise, you're going to go, yeah, this whole debate is semi-moot because of it. Jim Patterson, what is happening? What's going on, my friend? Yes, Mother's Day coming up, man. Tomorrow, I miss my mother. My mom, passed a couple years ago, and tell you what, my father could use her right now. All right, let's head into this. If you guys are ready, let me know if the sound works. Because, once again, the mic was supposed to work, but did not. So we will see how it goes here. I'm going to keep me on the screen because part of fair use is I must be there. And I must be stopping once in a while and talking enough. Which, obviously, anybody who's watched me knows I have no problem doing. So, and feel free to throw in Ryan, Slowburn, Jim, any of you here, Jay Watterson, throw in your 25 cents, not 2 cents. I'll take a whole 25 cents of what you think. I don't care. I will stop every once in a while and go through and address your chats also. So I have no problem doing that. And if you disagree with my takes on things, I'm all for it. I like discussion. All right, so here we go. Let me know if you can hear anything going on when it kicks up. Throw my headphones on. There we go. Come on, baby. My headphones ain't reconnecting. There we go. There. All right, so I am not hearing it. So I'm betting you guys aren't hearing it either, right? Yeah, Jim. All right, let me see here what is going on. I may have to change a setting. I don't know why that wouldn't do that. Okay, let me know if this makes a difference. Might echo. No. Okay, so why? All right, you guys cannot hear that, I'm betting. Why is that not coming through? Sound is up. Yeah. I am unsure. You guys can't hear that, right? So what is going on? Oh, is it because of Rumble? I'm not on the right Rumble account? Well, if I have to, I'll go to YouTube. All right, let me try YouTube real quick. For some reason, this is not playing. No, sir. Okay. I can go to my other Rumble account. Let's just do it this way. Let's go to YouTube. I'll look for it there. I think he still has them on YouTube. Let's go here. Look at me there. Oh, boy. It played earlier. That's like, well, my mic worked earlier, too. All right, so let's go look at this and see if it plays out for you guys. I got the sound on. Dismiss.
Baseball bat and
there we go. Okay, so it's a Rumble problem. It's a Rumble problem. It's not a me problem. Oh, wait. Hey, try that. Rumble has different controls, guys. Let me try this. Hey, look at that. Look at me. You know, I like Rumble, but Rumble's controls are totally different sometimes. That doesn't show me a mute. They need the little speaker with an X. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, here we go. And this is Ryan's favorite guy, Pasco, sorry. Yeah, it's just wow. Horrible. So let's start here. Yeah. All right, here we go. And now you should have audio, so let me know and make sure there's no echoes. And like I said, we will stop this a lot and discuss. Oh, good grief. You got to get past it. As soon as you drag it, you know what happens. I do like their skip. There we go. 15 seconds.
Booing
there.
And cheering. Which is probably bad news for our friend Pisco.
Yeah.
Pisco.
But we do have some serious issues to debate. And the question of today is, was the deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia just or unjust? And should the Trump administration bring him back to this country? And with that being said, I would like to throw it first to the gentleman to my right. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Pisco. I'm a lawyer. I argue
Pisco.
on the internet from a left-wing perspective, and I think it's obvious that it was unjust. It was illegal. All right. One of the big problems that conservatives cite with immigration is the fact that it's illegal in the first place. Okay. So if you have a problem with illegal immigration on the basis of its illegality, surely you should have a problem with deporting people illegally.
All right, now right there, like I said, I'm not going to bury the lead. Right there, when I watched this, I went, whoa, false framing. This, if we are going to do this debate by what he says, and I'm sorry, guys, I had that cranked as loud as possible. I hope that's loud enough. If my mic is too loud compared to this, please let me know and I can turn my mic down. But you guys can hear this now, right? I hope so, because it sounds like it's coming through to me. So let me know. Anybody, just give me a thumbs up if it's coming through now. Because I don't want to say anything about what I'm about to say here if I don't know for sure. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let me know, guys. Say anything about what Sorry. Wow, that's loud. Woo! I can always back up on my laptop and look. Okay, so it is. Thank you very much. Appreciates it. All right, so what Pisco said right here is right away, to me, destroyed most of this debate, and nobody pushed back enough on this or changed the narrative. He said, well, if you think bringing these people in is illegal, then you should be upset about deporting them illegally. Problem. And I bet some of you are going to see what my problem is. Right away, he's saying, okay, so we brought them in here illegally, but now you can't deport them the same way. My problem was automatically, so wait a minute, so Democrats are okay to break the Constitution, federal immigration laws, state laws, you name it, sanctuary city bullshit, all of it, to bring in 20 million illegal aliens, but now, as soon as Democrats got them here illegally, now suddenly Trump, you and I are beholden to some legal framework to get them out. That means we will never get them out. If we are beholden to some huge thing to get them out of here, that means at best Trump can maybe in 4 years get out 800,000 out of 20 million. So his whole framing is bullshit. If they come in illegally, you and I, Trump administration, are not 100% obligated to suddenly go, well, constitutional says this. Bullshit. You come in with this, with no due process, you leave with the exact same, because you are not entitled to due process as a non-citizen, especially if you came here illegally. Yet that's what he's framing. He is framing it as, well, they're here, Democrats got them here illegally, so now, good luck getting them out. And that's where I have a problem with the whole debate. Nobody calls that out, just like what I just said. They say a little bit, but they never push back much. It is craziness. So we'll let you listen a little more of him here, and we'll start a little of the debate. We'll do some of that, and then we'll jump to some of the people who got to stand up. Because I think some of them did better.
You think it was the right thing to do to break the law?
Yeah, what?
Do you think it was the right thing to do to break the law? I'll ask the audience right now. So that's just a collective. I want everyone to notice. You all said you're fine when Trump breaks the law. He admits that he broke it.
He is still wrongfully framing it. He is wrongfully framing it. Trump is not breaking the law. Trump is the executive. Remember, when Biden was bringing these people in, they said, he's the executive. Texas is not allowed to stop him. You can't do that. Arizona, you can't stop him. Nobody can stop Biden. He's the executive. Now that Trump is in there, Well, shit, Trump's got to follow the law. Trump has all this due process he must follow. Where was Pisco about due process when 20 million were brought in breaking federal and constitutional law? He's still mad, telling these people, well, why do you like law breaking so much? And during the debate, you're going to find where somebody does kind of push a little and he has no remedy and dances right away real quick when somebody did say anything about, well, they came in here illegally. Well, that's too bad. They're here now. So, yeah. Ryan, I hear what you're saying. It's a tough place to be in, but I don't trust the governor. I don't either. I don't trust the government either. I feel like the only thing that holds it from complete tyranny is this system. The system is broken. But the problem is, okay, I would say I don't trust the government per se. I know you can take this the wrong way, do whatever you want with this. I trust Donald Trump more than I do our regular government. I trust his cabinet, which is a mixed group of people, an actual unity party, more than I trust our government people been there forever. Even, I'm sorry, CBP agents and ICE agents, because they facilitated child and sex trafficking for 4 years. Well, I was following orders. They admitted they knew children with numbers in their hands were being trafficked and let them in. Passed them on to somebody that they had no clue if they were related to. So I hear you on trusting the government, but I will trust Donald Trump and his cabinet more than the rest of our government who let this happen. They are the ones trying to at least stop it and fix it. The rest of our government is the one standing in the way. And this guy is everything wrong with them because he is going to ignore 4 years of illegality bringing them in, but just say Trump can't take them out the same way. This is an 1820 issue, law on our side. Yeah, I don't understand why this is a hill to die on. That's my other problem with it. If you break a law, let's say you go rob a bank today. You go rob a bank. You get away with it. They find you 5 years later. They don't let you keep the money. They take it. Even if you give it to your children. I gave that $10 million to my kids. Too bad. Fruit of the poison tree. You do not get to profit from breaking the law. This is the same thing. These illegal aliens are exactly the same. They are here illegally, profiting from that. You do not get to. You have no due process for that. Now, if you're an American citizen, you are fully covered by due process. But if you are not a citizen and you came here illegally, you are a lawbreaker automatically. You do not get due process if you came in here without it. And this is all he's going to say is Trump has to follow due process to get him out. Due process to get him out. There are many on both sides who say if Trump has to follow some bullshit made up, which isn't even real due process, it's 350 years to get these people out if Trump had 350 years to do it. So it is a bad debate because it goes on from here with his premise that Democrat okay to break law, Orange man cannot. That is not equal treatment under the law. One side doesn't get to automatically keep breaking laws day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, while the other one, as soon as they try doing the same thing, no, how dare you? That's where we're stuck. All right, so you are here illegally, you have no rights, 100%. Ryan Jones, okay, I may trust Trump as well. However, I'm not worried about Trump. I'm worried about AOC, Swalwell, Newsom pull the same crap. I know, but you can always worry about somebody going to do something bad later. Right now, we have to worry about who is here the very moment. Because look what Biden did. Biden went in, reversed Trump stuff. Trump is in reversing it. It's the way our system works. It's imperfect. I don't like it either. But I think the American people, once again, the American people are backing this right now. I don't think if AOC, let's say she wins president in 4 years, God's help us. And it won't take one God. It's going to take all the gods out there to help us. Let's say AOC does win and tries to reverse this. Just bring them all in. I don't think the American people are going to stand for it anymore. Where the American people were cowed by words like racism and sexist and hateful and you're a Nazi and stuff before, they're done with it. I think Americans, left, right, center, are done with this BS. We're done with getting beat up. We're done with, oh my God, tugging our heartstrings. I don't think Americans give a rat's ass anymore. I think if AOC tries to reverse this, if the American people are so stupid to let them, that's on us. But I think America is tired of it and it will not work. Or at the very least, AOC would be a one-term prez. Or people would be screeching en masse for her impeachment. I really think so. Yeah. Kind of like calling the cops because someone sold you drywall instead of Coke. Oh, God. Oh, Jim, very nice. All right, let's move on a little more. We'll see how far we can go.
And you're cool with it. And don't, well, they admit that it was against the law to do so. And they promised they're going to do it to U.S. citizens too. You think he's just joking? They did not. It won't affect you. They did not. He never said that. He's made jokes. He said, well, maybe we should send American criminals down there. One, I do not like that idea. I don't even like the joke. But he's never promised he's going to send out American citizens. That is a lefty scare tactic. 100%. That is what the left has. The left has scare tactics. Everything they put out is scare you. If they can't call you names and make you back off, if they can't scare you off that way, they pull this shit. Chicken Little, sky is falling, Trump will end planet Earth. That is it. He arrested U.S. citizens, for 10 days without due process. They're lying about where he was near the border. They've deported U.S. children who have cancer.
Nope.
So don't
that was
think this won't
false.
affect you.
The mother chose to take the child. They said the child can stay here if you got family or somebody, or if you want to put them in the foster care or something else. The mother said, no, we're taking the child with us. Her choice. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel bad for anchor babies. The 14th Amendment, if you look at the writers of the 14th Amendment, they clearly knew this shit could happen. When they wrote it in the 1880s, they said, no, people coming across the border illegally are not covered. Not covered if they have children. The Supreme Court needs to pull its head out of its ass and rule on this because the writers of that amendment said no anchor babies. So anchor baby is stupid and needs to stop.
He also said, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's just for someone to be deported illegally.
Oh, and guys, I'm going to say something here. If you want to chit-chat in the chat, that is beautiful between you. If you want me to notice something or you're saying something directly to me, you would like an answer, please put at Lyons Den or something like that so it pops up for me. Mention me and it pops up, and I think it shows a little highlighted. Other than that, yes, chat between yourselves, throw questions at each other. I love it. That is beautiful.
Deported illegally.
All right.
So basically, just to finish off, if you're willing to say that, you're willing to say that you want Trump to be a king, that you want him to be a tyrannical fascist.
False framing. False framing.
And really, take a hard look. Is that what you want this country to be?
Yes. Right. False framing.
24 hours, yes.
We also have...
I like that. Did you hear that? Somebody said, yeah, for 24 hours, yeah, let him be a king. But he doesn't need to be. Trump is trying to follow laws too nicely, by the way. These district judges have no standing. They're making illegal rulings, illegal injunctions. Trump needs to grow a pair back like he did when that bullet grazed him and say, no, screw you. We're following the law. Get his PR people out there showing laws, showing the Constitution, showing how they're breaking the law. That is it. We're done. They are disenfranchising the vote of every American doing this. America voted. These activist judges are saying, nope, screw your vote. Screw the votes of more than half of America who won the election. We don't care if you won or not. We're going to do it anyway.
Introduction. This gentleman here.
Yeah. Nice to see you all. I'm Will Chamberlain.
Agreed, Brian.
Article 3
You're right.
So I think there are, three core reasons that the outcome here is substantively just.
This guy is way too moderate
for
this debate.
Had the Trump administration gone through the normal process to lift a withholding of removal, this guy would have been removed 100% of the time for two core reasons. First, he was found to be a member of MS-13 in earlier court proceedings. Once
Twice.
that finding was found and upheld
Twice.
on appeal, he would be a stop from challenging that. Now that Trump has designated the guy as MS-13, rather, to be a foreign terrorist organization, he's not eligible for withholding of removal anymore, so he'd simply have lost no matter what. And the second reason is that in the interim, between the time he got this withholding of removal and now, the 18th Street gang, which...
I'm going to pause real quick just to ask you guys, do you like it this way, or do you want me to full screen it even though I'll be in the way a little more? I mean, I can try to put me up in the upper right corner there a little more and get out of there. But let me know. Do you guys want it bigger? And I'm sorry, this is as absolutely loud as it'll go. So that's all I can give you off it. So let me know. But yeah, Ryan, you're right. This is a lot like J6 stuff. But J6 was American citizens doing something. These are illegals brought here illegally. Just crazy. But yeah, let me know. Do you guys want this larger, full, or do you want it just staying like this in window?
Supposedly threatened his mother's pupusa shop. A preposterous story from the outset.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
That 18th Street gang is no longer effective in El Salvador, which was the basis.
Yeah,
for
it's gone.
Bukele
got rid of it. He's in no danger.
The removal was granted in the first place. So he wouldn't. So the outcome wouldn't have changed. This is what we would call, to analogize, harmless error. The second reason it's substantially just is because the guy's a wife-beating MS-13 gangbanger. Yeah.
Not just that, he leaves stuff out. Wife-beating MS-13 gangbanger. She tried to get an order of protection on him twice. He was picked up during the Biden administration, and there's video out there showing the police know he's trafficking. He's trafficking people. He's trafficking drugs. He's been caught multiple times doing this crap. He's been caught with MS-13 people a couple times. He is MS-13. Gang experts and judges, including Judge Jeanine Pirro, who did gang prosecutions, know what his tats mean. He leaves a lot out. This guy is way too moderate to stand against Pisco. Pisco is far left. This guy is very vanilla. You can't put far left against somebody who's not going to stand back up as evenly or as hard.
And who exploited our laws for 14 years. And in fact, the more that comes out about the guy, you're realizing, just what kind of person he is, threatening his wife and children, telling them that, you can't leave me because I'll kill you. Funny thing, I was reading a book about MS-13, and a different MS-13 gangbanger did the same thing about a girlfriend he was dating. There's this sort of underlying entitlement.
He drags it on too much. Argue. Come on, get back at it.
Obviously a very bad dude, a human trafficker, the kind of person who drives people, from Texas to Maryland who don't have any luggage. Do you think those people have free will? No, those are captives. And, we can get more into that later.
And we will.
Garcia's wife doesn't have free will.
Tonight to make sure that there's a little bit of chaos and humor.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Ben's...
It's primetime 99.
Ben Stein, that's it, right? No, not Ben
you
Stein.
You're very smart, but you're still a libtard. And, but no, I agree. I actually agree.
Primetime 99 or something like that.
Listen, whether it was unjust or not, we got the outcome that we wanted.
He drives me
Big
nuts
Booty
sometimes.
Latina is staying in the country.
I'm going to skip forward because he goes off on this Big Booty Latina crap and just keeps going. There we go.
Deportation, just or unjust?
Yes.
It was unjust. It was illegal.
No.
Those aren't synonyms.
But so
Those don't mean the same.
I understand that, but in this context, do you think?
Okay,
it was
me
just
either, Ryan.
for
It
the
drives
Trump
me nuts a little
administration
bit.
To do an illegal deportation, yes or no?
I mean, in these circumstances, the outcome was just.
I'm asking if the deportation, if you think.
Well, I mean, it was mistaken.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Eva.
Conceded that it's a mistake, right?
So was it just to do a mistaken illegal deportation?
I mean, the actual substantive outcome here is a.
It was paperwork shuffling. It was somebody walking in to meet this guy. Look this up. It's somebody walking in and going, "You're done. Goodbye." That's it. You have been adjudicated MS-13 twice. You've been caught doing this. You're here illegally. Bye. That's it. That's all it is. It's a shuffle paperwork. Somebody just walk into a room and go, "We're sending you home. Get out." They want to break. The reason Democrats are standing so hard on this is because if they can stop Trump from getting rid of the worst of the worst, if they can stand in the way of that and get that stopped, that means Trump will not ever be able to send out anybody else where they can tug at your heartstrings, where any of their other illegals will never be leaving then. So they are going after the super criminals for a reason, breaking into ICE facilities where they have Tren de Aragua and MS-13. They do not care if you, me, are ended Our women are interfered with. Our kids are interfered with. Drugs are flowing in. They do not care about American citizens. All it is about their power. If they can stop Trump getting the worst of the worst out, none of them will go. And the Democrats will be guaranteed a 30 to 40 million voter block. Especially when the next census hits in 2030, because these illegals, somehow, God help me, we count them. Idiotic. Jim, no, this is not your shirt. This is a Superman shirt. Your shirt, I have been wearing kind of regular. It's good, stretchy, and comfortable, and I've been wearing it at the gym. So a lot of people have seen your stuff, and one person talked to me, so I have recommended they check your channel out. So hopefully they do so. So, yeah, by the way, and hello, Jim and Eve, if you guys didn't hear me over it. Yeah, it's like something Stein, right? Not Ben Stein, but they call him Primetime 99 or something like that. And I can take him in tiny doses, but it's kind of like some of the skits on Family Guy. He goes too far. And trust me, I recognize going too far because I do
The
it.
just
So.
outcome. It's like, I don't want the administration.
Whether the outcome was just or not, is
Right.
the action, the mistaken, in your words, mistaken illegal deportation just or not?
It's mildly unjust.
Yes.
So
There's
you
a
actually
reason
agree.
I
So to be
had
clear,
the resolution be
you
put down.
actually agree that it was unjust. To be clear, everyone here agrees.
So what? What's more just? What's more unjust? Let's say it that way. Us with a paperwork issue getting rid of this bad guy, or him being allowed in here in the first place. Yeah. So bullshit framing again. They're not pushing back enough and saying, why was he allowed in
It
here?
was unjust.
No.
Well, okay.
Illegally.
So Tim, do you think that the deportation was just to do an illegal action?
See, what you're doing right there is I'm just going to say, that's not debating. To load the question with, I presume it was illegal first, now answer.
Do you
It's
agree it was illegal?
When did you start beating your wife?
Well, do you agree it was illegal? What's loaded about that?
So the issue is it a crime to make a mistake?
Not a crime. Was it illegal? Was it illegal, yes or no?
No.
No.
9 justices on the Supreme Court unanimously, Will and I, both lawyers, will tell you it was illegal. Will, it was obviously
Yeah,
illegal.
no, it was an illegal deportation.
It was an illegal deportation.
So hold on. You're saying that it was illegal because the Supreme Court said it was?
No.
It's emphatically the province and duty of the judicial department to say what the law is. That's Marbury.
Does the Alien Enemies Act supersede?
He wasn't sued under the Alien Enemies Act. Or he wasn't deported under the Alien Enemies Act.
It doesn't
Miller says
matter.
it was.
Trump can say
No,
it.
he absolutely
Yep.
wasn't.
Steve
He's
Miller
not a
says it was.
Venezuelan. The proclamation for the Alien Enemies Act only applies to Venezuelans.
No, it can apply to anybody Trump says. This guy goes off on a lie here in a second. Well, he has to declare a certain country, and that's the only ones it counts for. No. Read the act. Donald Trump can declare anybody under the Enemy Aliens Act. Doesn't have to be just a country. This is false framing again.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Say again.
Does the Alien Enemies Act apply to El
The
Salvador?
proclamation
Or
issued by the
MS-13?
president only to Trinidad members who are
Jay,
Venezuelans.
100%.
By its terms, the proclamation by its terms, even assuming it were legal,
Yeah, I mean, this-
would not apply to him.
Yeah, this is not an Alien Enemies Act question.
So the
So
question
the-
is,
so
do you agree it
what
was
would-
illegal?
It should be.
If the argument is the Supreme Court said it was illegal and that's your basis for it, then I agree with you. Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with the president or the
Well, I mean,
executive
the thing is,
department?
everybody agrees it's illegal.
Well,
Like,
he just wait. Just to be clear.
No, I
he
believe
just
it was
for
an
a while
administrative
said it wasn't.
error, and the issue is we're talking about the semantics of what it means to be illegal, right? So, is it illegal to smoke pot?
It's not
Yes.
semantic.
Is it unjust? No, people can smoke pot if they fucking
Okay,
want
so
to smoke pot.
that's why I'm asking you first if it's illegal. Now you agree it is illegal. Fair, right?
In the context of what you, so the first thing I was trying to do was
I still go back to what's more illegal. Breaking the constitutional immigration laws, getting Americans ended, interfered with, or not even with us anymore by bringing these people in, or oopsie, a paperwork error where a guy didn't walk in and say, bye-bye. I'm going with the whole bringing them in, and they do not push that enough. They are still not. It would moot 90% of this if they really went after this guy going, now wait a minute. You brought 20 million in without due process. What is our remedy for that? What is the remedy for 20 million illegally brought in by the last administration? What do we do? How do we fix that? He's going to go, you got to follow due process now that we got him in there.
understand your view in how and how.
Hey,
you're viewing
Celtic, how's it going?
You're saying, as a subject of law, as the Supreme Court has ruled it, we all agree the Supreme Court did in fact say it was illegal.
Correct.
Agreed, slow burn.
Okay, so If it's the case that you think that this deportation was illegal, do you think it was just for the
Yes.
Trump administration to do an illegal deportation?
Yes.
100%.
Just like I think it's just
It was
for someone to
moral.
smoke pot.
It was moral. Trump did a moral thing. Sometimes morals and laws don't line up. This man is here bringing in fentanyl. He's trafficking humans. He's a MS-13 gang member. Only thing he needed to be a full gang member was off somebody, which he hadn't quite done yet. He's already practiced on his wife. He's done a bunch of crimes here. It was moral for the Trump administration to send him out. Not all of our laws can be followed every time and morality at the same time. An administrative error is minor, and it was moral to send this guy out of here. Democrats have no morals. And like I said, guys, sorry if I'm answering some people in the chat. You guys are definitely discussing amongst each other. Feel free to mention each other by name and refer and ask each other questions. And I will respond probably some, but if you really want me to respond or asking me a question or telling me something, please use Lyons Den in there and I'll make sure it shows up easier for me to to talk back to you.
Okay, so
But by the way, yes, I agree. This guy is a jackass. He's dancing, and unfortunately, Tim and everybody else is letting him stick with his false premise. They're not pushing back and just asking simply, you brought him in here illegally. Now we are supposed to follow laws. What do we do to remedy your law breaking?
if they did the same thing to a U.S. citizen, though, obviously you'd think it's unjust.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed,
if they
Jam.
killed
100%.
Omar Garcia, would you think it's unjust?
Yes.
Why's that?
Killing people
That's not
is
a
one of the
moral
worst
remedy.
crimes, in fact.
Okay, so
He did. He killed, Obama killed 4 American citizens. We've
That
had-
is
but
false.
You thought that was wrong, right?
Absolutely.
It's a false framing. Because then, so if you're okay with deporting him, are you okay with us ending his life? What the hell? That is false equivalency. I'm not Andrew Wilson from The Crucible. I have nowhere near the mental capabilities to debate that he does. But my God, I'm poking holes in this. That is a false equivalency, and Tim's face right there says it all. That is a true face of Tim going, ugh. Oh, Tim can feel his brain cells dying.
So if it's the case that you thought that was wrong, wouldn't it be wrong, for example, to put Kilmar Abrego Garcia in prison for the rest of his life without an opportunity to have a case?
No.
Okay.
You see, so let me try this real quick. You're trying to equate, say, Barack Obama, right? He extrajudicially assassinated a 16-year-old kid without charge or trial.
He did.
I mean, if a dude cracks a grandma over the head with a baseball bat and kills her, I say lock that guy up. If a guy accidentally runs a woman over, then we say there could be negligent homicide. There's degrees of whether or not the crime is bad. Is it justice in some circumstances and not when a crime is... Not all crimes are solved in the same way.
I'm not alleging that it's a crime.
They all rise to the same level of retaliation.
I'm not
or
alleging that
retribution.
it's a crime. I'm saying it's illegal, and the Supreme Court found that. And right now...
Wait.
This is what the Trump...
Wait. So, I don't know. The whole illegal and crime thing I have an issue with, but I think the dude is trying to dance. He's still dancing. Celtic, Kim Poole didn't take his... Yeah, Tim has a thing with his hat. I mean, I've got thinning hair too, but I take my hat off. But I grew up wearing hats. I grew up in the country. I wore hats. I wear hats. I find them comfortable. I like them. Also, it keeps light from coming down on my face. I like them. But I understand Tim has his persona, and it's part of his dress to him, so... I'll give the guy his quirks. If you look at it, he really dresses the same. He's admitted his whole closet is multiple pairs of the same types of clothes even. So he's got his thing. It might be a little bit of, maybe he's got a little light autism with it. You don't like Tim Pool? Hey, we could discuss abortion another time, but I am not a conservative on abortion. I am not a far liberal on abortion. So we'll just leave it there for now. We'll get back to this one. But yes, guys, keep talking to each other. If you have any questions, if you see somebody post a comment or question here, you can feel free to answer it. It doesn't have to be just me. You guys are here to do debating and talking amongst yourself. Also, like I said, just put Lyons Den if you really want me to notice notice or look over. All right.
Cult does to you. This is what the Trump cult does to you.
Cult?
So this is what it does to you. You are defending an illegal deportation of a human being. who has the right to have his case heard. The basic essence of due process.
Funny thing is, he
No, he doesn't.
I mean,
He's not talking about how he illegally got
It
here.
will be denied of you in the course of time.
no, it won't. He's not a citizen.
So
Exactly.
So if
And he
you're
was
deported,
previously adjudicated as an MS-13 gang
that's
member.
false. And you,
No,
and you brought it to
no, it's not.
so
There
you-
was a finding that he was an MS-13.
No, so
Absolutely.
you brought up collateral estoppel, didn't you?
Yeah.
So-
He'll be stopped from challenging.
So of course not. So of course not. So this. So I know because I have to say.
I don't know if you guys can hear some of the people in the background, but they are actually calling out more bullshit and catching this guy on his crap and his absolute bias more than the people up on the stage right now. They are calling out how this guy has done stuff, how he was brought in illegally. This guy is more worried about getting them out legally than he was bringing them in legally. Shows his bias.
Shipwrecked, and they get shipwrecked is a lawyer. And
Two judges,
garbage.
exactly,
And
Jim.
the truth is, there is no collateral estoppel here. What is the finding that the bond court hearing made?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
If someone does something illegal, is that just or unjust?
It's sometimes unjust, sometimes just. It depends.
If someone does something illegal, should they always be held
No.
under? No. Okay, so we agree that the real question here is not whether it's just or unjust.
hear that?
Whether we think the penalty should be severe.
Did you hear what he just did? Tim asked him, anytime somebody does something illegal, should they be held to that? Should they be charged with it or something like that? But automatically, he's going after Trump for doing something he says is illegal, getting the guy out. So this guy is willing to, obviously, he's going to talk about letting illegals off or people who do bad stuff when they agree with his standards. But Orange Man bad or anybody who wants to go against his standards, then the law must suddenly be upheld.
Or
Oh, and I don't know if you guys know. I keep mentioning if you want me to notice, put Lyons Den. I don't know how many people know if you take the name of the channel, put at the ampersand sign in front or the A sign, however you want to call it these days. If you want to go at and then Lyons Den, the way my channel's spelled, or I think you have to spell it the exact same way. I'm not sure, but then it shows up in the highlights for me to see it. No, I agree, Slowburn. I mean, I agree with Tim a decent amount. What I like about Tim Pool is he's out there having conversations that we really need to have more of. More people need to be able to do what he's doing, getting stuff like this. His Timcast IRL is a beautiful show, not just because of Tim, but because of the discussions and roundtable talks and how they hash out just things you can agree with, disagree with, the discussion. And there aren't a lot of true, good discussion type shows and channels out there.
No. So I agree. Not all illegal things are unjust. I'm asking, in this case, is this illegal action by the Trump administration just or unjust? And you said it was just
Yes.
for the Trump
Just.
administration to do an illegal deportation.
Now,
And
now,
I'm
hold
going
on.
to
Yes.
ask you
My
why.
friend.
I'm going to ask you why.
Right. Let me answer that. So the first thing I got to say is you keep loading this as though illegal is the pretext by which something would be just or unjust, which is why I asked you. Is if
Yep,
something is
Tim
illegal,
caught him.
is it just or unjust?
It
Sometimes
can be.
it's
It
not.
depends.
Then you don't need to say.
Oh, see?
You
He's
know,
loading it. Tim, right. Tim just caught him again. Do you see that? For everything you think of Tim can catch this shit. Tim just caught him twice in his own hypocrisy. And look at the guy's face. He's getting red. He knows he's caught. Tim caught him twice with that. That's why he asked him that question. Anytime somebody is illegal, should we uphold that law? No, not automatically. But now right here, Tim just caught him a second time with that. That's why his face is getting red. He's looking down because he knows. His body language is like, yep, got busted on that one. Now he's going to have to dance out of that again in a second.
Am I okay? Why am I okay with Trump doing something illegal? The question is the
No, I
deportation.
do need it because I think as a standard, right, there's a threshold here that in the main, when the government does something illegal, we're going to presume it's unjust unless you can reach some threshold. Well, think about it, right? So if the
Against an illegal
it can't
alien?
just
No.
be a game of
Against
we
this
let the
guy?
government
No.
do whatever we want to people we don't like.
It's not that we don't like. This guy, we have tons of information on Abrego Garcia. We know he's illegal. One, done, out. We know he's a lawbreaker, bringing in fentanyl and human trafficking. Done, out. We know he's whacked his wife around multiple times. Boom, out. We know he's been adjudicated twice as MS-13, caught with MS-13 gang members 3 or 4 times. So, no, this is not, we had somebody we don't like. See the false framing. And I'm glad Tim has caught a bunch of his false framing, but he's doing it again right here. False framing, guy we don't like. It's not that we don't like him. Well, I wouldn't like somebody like that anyway, and I bet you wouldn't either. But he's false framing that we're doing it just because we don't like him, because we're evil Trump supporters. Idiotic. And yeah, Ryan, this Pisco is a total piece of something, isn't he? Ugh. Words. You gotta watch words. And this guy, I would love Andrew Wilson to go after this guy, to be on this stage right now. Oh, Andrew Wilson would do such a good job of getting this guy.
We're fearful of the government.
Hey, American Explorer.
In the main, because of structural reasons. There's a reason. There's a reason. For example, you believe.
No problem,
that someone
Jim. Thanks
who's
for stopping
accused,
in, buddy.
example, should be given a trial, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it that? Why do you think that someone who's so horrific, and if everyone agrees that this person, why should we give them a trial?
An American citizen gets a trial.
What about an illegal alien?
Yep.
They don't.
No.
So you don't think? So
No.
just to be clear, this is where we're at now.
No.
You don't think that crimes that are committed in this country,
there he
by
goes.
illegal
Watch this.
immigrants, that they should have trials for those crimes?
The penalty.
Well, no, we do have.
Depends on the
To
crime.
be honest, we do have trials for.
No,
illegal
hold
immigrants.
on. So the penalty for an illegal immigrant typically is for most who cross within 2 years is expedited removal. That means their due process is an immigration officer will determine whether or not they're here legally or illegally.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about crimes. We're talking about crimes.
And yeah, so when we get someone here who like or murder somebody, why are we going to spend taxpayer dollars when the outcome is going to be you get sent out of the country no matter what happens?
Tim,
Yep.
so actually, a lot of times, we deal with this.
Because if they can get Abrego Garcia back here, they're going to get him in front of some leftist activist judge like Boasberg, who's going to say, well, you can't send him out. That's why they want him back here. They want him back here so they can stymie Trump, so they can make him look bad and go, sorry, I ruled, he stays. He stays. Not only does he stay, he gets to go free. And the government is going to owe him money for hurting his poor illegal little alien feelings. That's part of the game. They want him back so a leftist judge can illegally block it. And unfortunately, Trump is being a wienerhead and not standing up to these judges saying, get wrecked. Go screw yourself. You're making illegal law. Forget it. That's part of the game here.
Prosecuted so that they actually face.
Oh, let me stop and address the chat for a sec here. Stein's talking. I don't need to listen to him. He doesn't add anything real to this whole thing. Anytime he talks, guys, I will skip. Because I agree, I can take this guy in tiny doses. I do not find him as super funny. I don't find him as very insightful. He just kind of, he gives me a Sean Hannity feeling at times. Celtic, we are the right wing. Tim Pool, he does not support Bernie Sanders. He's come out recently and said multiple times that, oh, Bernie's done. He's like, no, Bernie's gone off the deep end. Bernie's sold his followers out. Bernie's gone back in a lot of what he says. Tim says he used to support Bernie. He does not anymore. So, no, he does not support Bernie anymore. And he's said that multiple times over the last, even couple months. Because people have called him out on that. And he's said that even on IRL. But he did support him at one time. He will openly say that. Tim has an over false framing. Yeah. I don't know. His hat doesn't bother me that much. I might wear mine a lot of times, a lot of places. It's an affectation. And like I said, Tim may be slightly autistic the way he dresses in certain ways every time. He needs to do certain things at a certain time. He moves certain ways, does certain things. He may be borderline. So it's not as easy there. But yeah. I like the discussion you guys are having about freedoms and answering each other's questions. I do appreciate that. Why would us witches we are always against the power of leftism? Yeah. Yeah. You are. All right. He just wanted to say hi to everyone. Oh, no problem. No problem, Eva. I appreciate it. I know you guys are East Coast and busy, so I do appreciate it. You and Jim have a good evening. Thank you. Bunny, what is up? Connie, how you doing, hun? But yeah, Ben Stein, I think that's his name, isn't it? But either way, Primetime 99, I just find him
Punishment
obnoxious.
instead of getting. Who else?
Yeah,
Who
I'm
else?
gonna
What
move
other,
on.
what other examples
So-
do we have? I know you used to talk about the cancer girl, but they actually were allowed to stay. So when leftists say
Yes,
that they were
he
forced
is
to
right.
leave, they,
No,
they
you-
chose to go with their family.
If
They
you
were
guys-
100% allowed to stay in America, so
Yep.
we didn't deport a cancer
Yep.
person.
If,
So
if,
that
you,
was.
if you guys are stuck in your echo chambers, and again, I think that there's some of that going on here.
No, that's proven. That's proven. They've showed the documentation. They said she could stay, go into the foster care system. They would find her adoptive home, whatever. The mom said, no, I want her to go with me. This guy is a liar. He went from being a leftist mouthpiece shill to liar right there. It's not echo chamber. It's fact. They did not boot the 2-year-old cancer patient child. One that I personally believe she should never have been here. She's an anchor baby. Sorry, you need to leave.
Insult the
I think
audience
so.
like that.
So,
Give me
so
a break.
if it's that case, then you wouldn't know, for example, that this U.S. citizen, there's a parent here. There's an opportunity that people have basic due process rights to see if, like, I don't know, an aunt wants to care for the U.S. citizen, or another
They
parent
did.
has
They
parental
asked.
rights and the right
They
to have
asked.
custody over the parent.
Real
or
quick,
the child.
Mom said no.
In the instance you're referring to, the mother requested the child.
So I don't know which case. There are multiple cases of U.S.
He dances out of it. He was saying, oh, you're in your echo chamber, you're full of shit. Then right away, Tim calls him back on it again. And, well, I don't know anything about it. You jackass. So you were lying in what you were just saying. You lying piece of
There's two.
colorapura.
One of which the mother denies that's what the outcome that she wanted. But regardless, just the policy that we're talking about is with respect to people who are not citizens here. And you asked if it's like a mass policy. They're already by the Supreme Court again unanimously saying that these people are entitled to due process. You guys don't think that. You guys don't think that there
No,
should be due
no.
process.
That's
for people.
I don't think that.
Alex Stein,
Everyone
thank
thinks
you,
they're
Ryan.
entitled to due process. The
Ask
question
them,
is what
ask them.
process is
Oh, I kept calling Ben
It's
Stein. I know
narrowly
something.
limited in the context
Wait,
of
but
legal
Tim
immigration.
just said even in the context of criminal. So Tim just said in the context of a criminal indictment.
All right, we're going to skip up. If you let me know in the chat if you are okay with skipping forward till they start getting people up there from the audience to talk. Because there's one guy specifically I want you to see. I know Ryan's probably seen him. Ryan watched this, so I know you, Ryan's the guy I'm probably talking about. This guy, he might come in a little too hot. But even he misses the fact that this guy has kept this false framing. How dare you take them out illegally, even though they're here illegally? So let me know in the chat real quick. I'll talk to you for a second before anybody lets me know if you're okay with skipping to when they bring in people from the audience to do quick chats or quick questions with them. Alex Stein. I don't know why I kept calling it Ben Stein. Good with that. Good with the fast forward. All right, thank you. Because I really don't want to spend a whole 2 hours on just this. But like I said, that's why I shared the link in the stream, in the chat there, because if you want to go watch it, I would recommend it. And Rumble's a little easier to watch things on for something like this. You know, they still had to cut some language stuff that's borderline. So, all right, we will skip forward. Let me go find where the people are coming in. Let's see here. You got somebody up here in a minute. Proselytizing. There we go. There's the first guy right there. All right, we'll start right
Come up
here.
You're going to get a minute uninterrupted to talk about whatever prompt you want. We have this prompt. We're just going to use your because you're the first.
Yes,
one.
Jay Watterson,
And then
100%.
after you make that argument, then you're going to come up here, and that's when we're going to have the back and forth dialogue. So you got 1 minute, and then hopefully just give us your best 1 minute elevator pitch on your topic and why you think you're right. Then you get the 4 minutes back and forth. You get to freaking argue.
Now, I'd like you to tell me who that stands up here when these people are doing their thing, when they go to sit down when they're done. Tell me if you think that person did a good job or you think they missed the mark. Let me know. Because I don't want to be the only one thinking. I want to know what you think, and we can discuss if somebody missed the mark or they hit a good point. So let's go on to the first man here, and you let me know when he's done what you thought. And we can have a quick discussion if you guys want to about it, if you ask a question about what this guy said. Ben Stein is the eye draw. Yes, he is. I don't know why Ben Stein is stuck in there, man.
The most
And
famous
if we like
guy
you,
on-
stay.
on-
But if you
on
suck, I'll
YouTube,
kick you out.
Bueller.
I suck.
And so your 1 minute starts. Let me get the timer out. So we
Just
get
go
this
for
going.
it. He'll start it.
Yeah, ready?
I don't think it was this guy,
Ready,
Ryan. It's the one about
set,
2-3 down who went
debate,
nuts. He was
or
like,
say
"Rah."
This withholding of removal thing that I keep hearing about. Granted, I admit I'm not a lawyer or anything. I also, I didn't
Don't need to
actually,
be.
read
Common
the
sense.
Supreme Court ruling or anything. But my understanding of the withholding of removal is this makes it.
Oh, Buckle Bunny, this is Tim Pool's show. He does something called the Culture War. They do discussions. This is their first time trying it live, where they do Culture War. They bring somebody in from one side of a topic and another from another side, and they discuss. Tim's usually somewhere in the middle, but sometimes he has a belief one way or the other, and he also will get involved. And some of these conversations, if you've never seen Tim Pool's Culture War, honestly, you should go watch them. Some of the discussions are meh, but some of them are really, really good. You will learn a lot, and sometimes you're going to be really pissed off, but sometimes you're going to come out of it going, that was a good discussion. And I think that's a strength of this show that he does. But this is a live version where they're actually letting audience members, they have a live audience, they are able to get up and get involved in the discussion, which is nice. And this man doesn't have to be a lawyer. We can have common sense. I don't need to be a veterinarian to look at my cat and go, that's a cat. You can look at it and objectively, that's a kitty cat. Hey, have a good one, Celtic. Thank you very much. Someday we will do that, talk about abortion a little on here. So I know I probably will piss off both sides a little. But I think that's where most Americans are. Honestly, I do. All right, but thank you very much. Please hit thumbs up on the way out, guys. If you haven't yet so far, please do hit thumbs up. If you know anybody might be interested in anything I do here, please share the stream or the channel with somebody. If you are the first time here, thank you for spending any of your time. And I would say if I can capture 10 minutes of your interest, 3 different streams in a row, then please subscribe. I'm not going to automatically ask you to subscribe to yet another channel till I can earn it. Let's get back a little bit on this. Once again, guys, feel free to chat and ask each other questions. Some of you know each other, some of you do not. And it's actually a good thing where these people are having discussions here. You guys can do the same in the chat and ask each other questions and have other discussions going on off what's going on here.
Illegal for them to have deported Garcia to El Salvador. It did not grant him permanent residency within the United States, and it also did not outlaw ability to deport him to another country. So I'm kind of confused on where the confusion. Okay, I get it. A mistake was made. He was accidentally deported to El Salvador. So what happens from
after
that
the gangs are already
point? We go
gone?
ahead and
Doesn't
we bring him
matter.
back. How do we bring him back? What if Bukele isn't willing to relinquish him to us? How do we go about getting him back? Are we supposed to send in the military and go take him by force and bring him back here just so that way we can detain him and deport him again anyways? None of that makes sense to me.
It's a trap getting him back here.
Well, come on up, and then we can tell you why you're wrong.
It's a trap.
I mean, that's my position too, mostly. So nice to meet you too.
Well, let's roll. I mean, what was wrong?
Sure. Happy that. First of all, thank you guys. I know that we disagree on stuff, but I really appreciate y'all coming here. I think it's a really important topic, due process, and so I think it's awesome for.
If I could say real quick, kudos to you, man. Big balls. Come up here, go up against these 3 and an entire fucking room of people that are opposing you.
I can agree with
That's
that.
strong.
Okay, you don't need to kiss his ass. Let's go.
So I think the first, I'm going to deal in reverse order. The first thing is like, well, how can we actually get that done? I think everyone, if they're being honest with themselves, because you guys are honest people, should admit that Trump could, if he wanted to, get Kilmar Garcia back. He recently, as this week, said he could get him back. So we believe in terms of practicality,
Trump
the
says a
President
lot of
the United
bravado
States
things.
could get him back, right?
Maybe.
I
Why
could see
should he?
He could, because he does have a lot of sway, and Bukele.
So you
wants to
agree
work
with that,
him.
right?
But would Bukele want to look bad in front of his people? Bukele has turned El Salvador, the most unsafe, violent country in our area, in our hemisphere, I believe, or in his hemisphere, to the safest. It's safer than America now. I don't think he wants the bad optics or to look like he's a puppet of the Donald Trump. He has no problem working with Donald Trump, but I don't think he wants to look to his people or the world like he's a puppet. I think if Trump pushed it, Bukele would say no. What do you think? Do you think Bukele would just release this guy if Trump asked? Or do you think he's going to say, no, I did this stuff. I've made my country safe. My people like what I'm doing. I'm not going to appear to be a puppet. Let me know how you see
He
it.
wants to work with them, but then at the same time, this also keeps Bukele in the spotlight.
Yeah, I
and
know.
he likes being in the spotlight.
But let's not talk about questions of could.
Agreed,
let's talk
Bunny.
about questions of should, because I don't really think that you can make a strong argument that he couldn't.
I don't really think
Actually-
that he needs to waste his time on it.
Well, hang on, I just want to give Will an opportunity.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think my point is that there's Article 2 prerogatives that he actually does need to protect. And so in a world where Article 3 is sort of like in this vague game of trying to order him to return him,
This is
I
a
would
good point.
say no.
Good luck.
So I want to give Will his credit, because it is the case.
By the way, it's a trap. Again, and Jay Watterson, you're 100% right. Dang right. But also, this is a trap. If Donald Trump went and ordered the leader of another country to release one of his own citizens to America, yeah, the left may say, woohoo, we got him back. But then they're going to turn on Trump and say, oh my God, look at dictator Cheeto. He not only thinks Americans are under him and he's king of America, he's king of other countries. He's now telling the presidents and leaders of other countries what to do with their own citizens. It is a no-win scenario for Trump. So I think leave the jackass in his own country where he's at, and not fall into the trap of bringing him back here where an activist judge may keep him here, screwing us all over, or where they're going to attack Trump for, they're going to go, oh, he threatened and ordered the president of another country what to do with his own citizen. Trap. That is what I see. I see trap.
There are, as the Supreme Court held, limits, Article 3 limits on their ability
Yes.
to infringe on the Article 2 prerogatives. And I agree with some of these.
Exactly,
Like,
Jay.
If the Supreme Court said to Trump, hey, you have to go send in spec ops to take this guy out, I would think that that's unconstitutional for them to order that. So I do agree that there are some limits here. But that's a question of whether the court can order the remedy, not a question about what Trump could do.
Well, no, because there's an odd element to this too, and I think that you're eliding. The odd argument is that in a world where the Supreme Court is attempting to encroach on his power with vague
Yep.
orders,
Separation of
and
powers.
Trump exceeds
Very
to it,
vague.
that sets a precedent for what the court can do going forward. And so, I mean, and since we're in this area of like core Article 2 power, why I think, I think Trump should do, as I said, I think the remedy here is
Nice.
this hearing in El Salvador. But I think
Oh
Trump
my
should
God.
resist any sort of attempt to say, oh, you're ordering me to negotiate with the Salvadoran government to bring him back. I'm not going to do
Right
that
there.
until you give that up.
We also need to address what it means to what the phrase "could bring him back"
Facilitate.
means. And this would mean that Trump
No, he
would
said
need to negotiate with
facilitate.
Bukele to some degree. And I also believe it's fair to say that while Trump could bring him back, the resistance is going to be tremendous. Bukele is going to have to concede to his nation, I have released an MS-13 gang member because I was pressured by a foreign country.
That's right.
So
Correct.
Trump
Yep.
could
Also
get
a
him
good
back,
point.
but
Absolutely.
Trump's going to have to come in like,
We can't
here's
do
what
that.
we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Things that the Supreme Court can't order him to guarantee.
Bukele has like what?
Yep. The Supreme Court cannot do this. They have separation of powers for a reason. This is under the purview of the executive branch. Immigration is dealing with foreign countries. Is under the executive branch. They do not have the right to order him to do these things, especially since they didn't order him. It is a vague ruling saying, well, you shouldn't have done it. You should facilitate his return. But they did not describe what facilitate means. They didn't say go get him. They didn't say you bring him back or else. They said you should facilitate his return. What a bullshit ruling that is. That is the Supreme Court wieners covering their ass by going, see, lefties, we did something, and go and still trying to capitulate to the right, going, well, we didn't order them bringing them back, see? That is the Supreme Court not doing their job. That is a bunch of weak-willed, robed wiener heads, yes, wiener heads, not doing their jobs. These are snapper heads and jackwagons who should be impeached out of the Supreme Court. Stand up, look at what the Constitution says, look at what our Bill of Rights say, look at our federal laws, and rule on it by the word of the law, not just some ambiguous bullshit, which is what they did. Half this discussion would be gone if they made an actual ruling, but they didn't. Let me catch up with the chat before we move on. They sure don't give us rights in other countries. 100%. This is me. Only a citizen has rights. Yes. This is the type of sideshow distraction Dems want. Yes. This guy Pisco is definitely sideshow distraction. He plays with words just like, you can say you're a helicopter. My cat is a cisgender tabby. They mess with words so they can do this crap. He's not illegal. He's legally challenged.
What, 90% approval in El Salvador? I've had a client from El Salvador before, and I don't want to underplay the
Because
problem
he's
gang.
hard on
What's that?
Because he's hard on crime and he's hard on
Yes.
So I want to be
Yes.
clear. Like my client that I once had, he was absolutely a victim to the gang violence. It was endemic and it was just unlivable in El Salvador. So I don't want to underplay the degree to which gang violence matters. It absolutely does. But he is not. His approval rating, is to the max. The notion that he would face some kind of humongous
At the
pushback.
very second
He
that
would.
he softens on that, his approval rating's going to go down.
You don't think he's like, okay, we gave it back
There
to
you
people
go.
where we want to make the relationship
100%.
with the president. That's not going to affect his approval rating such that it's going to. But
Yes, it would.
This is all a joke. If Trump wanted,
And
to
why
do
would he
so,
want to
I
look
wanna
like a
do some Socratic
puppet
dialogue Yeah, with go you,
of the
because
president
you
of
did
the
a lot.
United States?
Yes,
So let's do some Socratic dialogue. Imagine a different hypothetical. Let's imagine a world where the United States had an illegal member of La Cosa Nostra in detention.
Yep.
And somehow he
We're gonna
managed
move on to another guy
acquire
here in a
withholding
minute.
removal from an immigration judge. Maybe that information got hidden about him being in La Cosa Nostra, whatever. Okay, got a withholding removal.
Actually, I'm going to move on
Drug
right now.
Italy.
This is not,
Okay,
I watch
Italy
this.
hypothetical.
Please trust me. Like I said, I
Grayson's
shared the link.
actually screwed up
Go watch this.
Because we have not his sixth edition.
Okay,
All right, here we go. Go watch this whole video if you get time. I shared the Rumble link. I'll do it again before we leave, or when we're done watching this. But I'm going to skip to the next guy. That what they said there. Honestly, trust me. If you watch this, you're going to see it is not relevant to anything else we're talking about. So we're going to skip to each person coming up here and catch some of those discussions real quick. And then we will leave it there, and I'll let the rest to you guys, and we can discuss what we saw and what we felt. But my whole premise, like I said before, was that this whole discussion, they let Pisco, the guy on the left there in the denim, frame it his way, and he's kept them away. He's saying, you have to use due process to get them out. Yet he will not even discuss how due process was not followed bringing them in here. So what he's doing is framing it as Democrats can break any constitutional amendment, any law they want, any immigration law, to bring in and do whatever they want. But then as soon as anybody tries to do the opposite of the Democrats, they must follow the law. The law must be followed by all or not followed by all. You can't have it only for one side. You will lose your country. So they should have asked this man, what is your remedy for your side breaking the law? How do we have a remedy for removing the 20 million you illegally brought in? Nobody does that here.
find it. So,
Well, go for it.
Here we go.
You got your 1 minute.
Let him deal the timer in. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, if I can get it in before he gets the timer going. Okay, so I believe he is slightly wrong. I believe you are mostly correct. And I believe all of this is a fact that they denied him his Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial when he was denied
Doesn't need one.
essentially all of
Illegal.
the processing that would have been needed when he had the stay of
He doesn't get a trial.
deportation. So he should have been sent to another place. In addition to that, most of immigration is actually
And I'm actually going to move on from there because this guy, we don't need to hear, he just screwed up. An illegal alien adjudicated to be removed by the court twice. Had a deportation order already in line, just he couldn't be sent to El Salvador. He has no Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. He has a quick immigration meeting where they go, see ya. That's it. So this guy is 100% wrong. The discussion that comes of this is fruit of the poison tree. So this is wrong. I'm going to move on. La Cosa Nuestra is the mob. Yes. And like Bunny said, he's not an American citizen. He doesn't have rights here. This guy screwed up and just walked into Pisco's trap. He gave to Pisco's side, yep, you gotta make this guy needs to have trials, which would mean all 20 million people illegally brought here by the Biden administration would need a full trial. It would take 300 plus years. If Trump could be there for 300 years and we had the exact government we have now, 300 plus years to remove the ones they brought in. It would never happen. That's what they're trying to do. And this guy just fell into that trap. He made a mistake. Anytime there is a high focus on a single issue or incident, always around it, this is going, yeah. They don't do this rights in other countries, 100%.
Screwed up because we have not filed a writ of mandamus against the federal.
No, this is totally screwed up. It's a false argument. The guy screwed the pooch. I'm going to skip to the next dude because that whole discussion, because he false framed, is bad. And he was actually trying to be on the right side, but he capitulated to their argument. All right, I don't know. This guy, you can't hear. He didn't say anything. Like I said, feel free to go look up all the rest of this and watch all the rest. But the next guy, I believe, is this lady is actually pretty smart. She actually kind of nails it pretty well. Let me see here. There we go. I'll go there, back up, play.
Dr.
I'll back up.
Give it a round. Talk into the mic. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Get real close to the mic.
Can you hear me?
Pull it up.
Oh, by the way, we'll only do a few more of these, then we're going to move on to a little bit of Elizabeth Warren, Adam Schiff, and some X craziness. So I'm not spending a whole 2 hours on just
Take
this.
it off, because we're recording this, so we can't use you if we can't hear. So talk into the mic.
Thank you, T-Bone.
All right, Alex, shut up. Let her talk.
First of all, this guy's name is Kilmar. Like, he sounds fucking crazy. Like, it's frightening as fuck.
This is a bad name.
Okay.
I mean, he is like just demonstrably.
Uninterrupted. Let her talk.
Are you from Maryland?
No.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. Woo! Shout out to the East Coasters in here. All right, let me tell you something about MS-13. All right, if this guy comes back, he's gonna be beating his wife, beating others, and back to the bullshit. All the trafficking, everything he's up to that, is alleged. He's gonna be back.
And the
on
Democrats
want to
get him here and keep him here.
I don't think, I'll speak for myself, but I don't think my community wants or desires to bring those characters back. We are extremely happy for their deportations, and we are extremely happy that he can't come back, that he's trapped in El Salvador.
All right, grab the seat.
Yep.
Great job.
This is
All right.
I was waiting for a question like this because this strikes at the moral perspective, not the fact-based legal perspective. And so there's this air of we can't deport people like this because it's a slippery slope that results in injustice elsewhere. That strikes at a procedural, legal, slippery slope, a lot of things. But it doesn't ask the moral questions a community wants answered.
Or how about just the fact, Tim is still screwing up. Sorry, Tim. The very fact that you're not turning and looking at him and just going, the man never should have been here. None of these people ever should have been in here. You go out with the same due process you came in with. You're not owed due process. You didn't use it in. You don't use it out. What remedy do we have to fix the illegal actions of your side? Tim is still capitulating to a point and arguing from where that guy wants him to argue from. They let the guy frame it, and now they're still arguing from that, not going back to what the problem is.
In that, if this was the 1800s, they'd have thrown this motherfucker out of town.
He would have been lynched.
And if he came back,
Yes.
He would have been lynched.
he would have been.
Yes.
They would have fucking killed this guy if he came back. I don't want that to happen to anybody. But the point is, the way communities treat people who wrong them, there is a question there. So I appreciate what you're asking about the moral question. What's the answer there?
We hate it. Okay, go ahead. No.
Yeah.
So you brought up the lynching. I just want to say, because I think that's an interesting point. I think there is a moral dimension to procedural questions, but I'm going to ignore it for the purpose of this because I do think that, I don't know if you guys
Because the morals are against you. He's going to ignore that part because he knows most of America morally want these people out. So he's going to lose the moral thing and go right back to where he's safe. Or at least he thinks he's safe because nobody's going back and saying his whole premise of this is false or has a condition that he's ignoring.
It's my favorite Tarantino movie, and one of the characters says that's frontier justice, and that's frontier justice. And the reason why we don't agree with that on a moral dimension is you're just as likely, you're likely to be wrong sometimes. And so here's my question for you: is Kilmar Abrego Garcia innocent until proven guilty of the crimes that the media is alleging him of doing?
No, he's been adjudicated twice. Already had 2 court hearings. He was guilty both times. How many more court hearings does he have to lose? How much more video evidence of police stops? How much more government evidence of tattoos, of people who he's with, of the fact that he was trafficking people, bringing in drugs, beating his wife? How much more actual official evidence do we need? He is misframing. He's saying, oh, shouldn't he have his court hearing? Shouldn't he be adjudicated? He has been. And yes, this chick is one of the best of the ones coming up to talk to anybody. She is dead on.
He doesn't get to be judged by those terms because he's not a citizen of the United States.
Ding!
So,
Ding!
I just want to be clear.
Boom!
Do you believe that either it is the case or it ought to be the case that non-U.S. citizens should not have trials for the crimes they're accused of?
It's a trap.
I think that
What he's trying to say is, oh, if somebody goes to a bar, they're illegal alien and beat the crap out of you, shouldn't they have a trial? They will do anything to keep them here. I like what Jay Watterson just said. Trump's already got that fixed. What we do is we send you to jail in El Salvador or Guantanamo or wherever else. Done. You do not get to stay in the contiguous United States for any reason. We'll try you and then send you to one of these jails. Done. False equivalency, because once again, Abrego Garcia already lost 2 court battles. That's it. Done.
What you're referencing is like a waste of our money. So we should not be, there's no reason to bring him here, do all this bullshit. We've paid enough.
100%, Bunny.
Okay.
So is the answer no, you don't think non-citizens should get trials for the crimes they're accused
That's
of?
a loaded question.
It's a trap.
It's a
Why is
loaded
it loaded?
question.
Why is it
See?
loaded?
Finally, Tim caught him. Yes. And yes, Jay Watterson, that's why I used your comment, because you're 100% right. Tim caught him. It is a loaded question.
Because the issue is, should somebody who lives in this country, permanent residents, versus an illegal immigrant adjudicated as MS-13, whose penalty is deportation.
Twice.
Right. Here's the point. If someone comes here and breaks the law, and the end result is going to be deportation, how do we have a trial for them when they're gone? Why force them to stay here if we're going to remove them anyway?
So, these are people who hate America, hate our community. They hate abiding by the law. They hate us. They hate
There you go,
fellow
gang
citizens,
member, too.
And they just mooch and mooch and mooch while literally terrorizing our community and tearing
100%.
us apart. They're like agent provocateurs.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that an illegal immigrant should get their due process? That doesn't mean jury trial. It means the standard legal process that is fair under the law for determining whether they're a citizen.
Yes. To a point. Once we determine they're an illegal, gone. That's all we do. Determine, are you here legally or not? Gone. Nothing else after that. If we determine you're an American citizen, then you have due process, then you have rights under the Constitution, under our Bill of Rights. We determine you're not a citizen, fuck off. You're out of here. Goodbye. Like Jay Waters has said, you can go to Libya, Guantanamo, El Salvador. Gone. Gone. Or even, yes, I'll take the self-deportation.
I think no, in that the original crime being that they came to this country illegally.
But that's what I'm asking you. The due process I'm asking if you would accept is, a man is walking down the street, the cops stop him. The due process here is, we must determine if he's a citizen or not. Should they do that?
Yep. Simple.
They should determine if
You
he's
gotta
a citizen
know.
or not.
Yeah.
Under
There
what
you go.
process? Who do you trust to determine who's a citizen?
Border Patrol. I actually got pulled over by Border Patrol recently.
I don't know. He had no problem trusting Joe Biden to just bring people in. Borders wide open, not vetting them. Fentanyl deaths went up 600%. All the attacks by illegals on our citizens went up like 450%. We had women and children ended more than any time in ever our history by illegal aliens. So this guy's now worried about trust? Now? Where was he worrying about trusting the Biden administration just bringing these people in? Yeah. Biased bullshit. He's still ignoring the fact that they brought them all in, open borders illegally, flew them in, dropped them everywhere, didn't give a rat's ass.
and they did a great job.
Here's the
They-
problem.
so-
When you put a hole in due process, this is why I don't agree with these categorical exceptions.
You don't get
Once
due
put
process
one
for
hole in
illegal.
Due process. Now the government, just by their own discretion, is going to put everyone they don't like in that hole.
If you
They're
have
gonna
nothing,
accuse
no.
you.
If you have nothing to hide, you should have
That's
no
classic
fucking.
neocon language.
What the fuck
classic
are you
neocon
talking about?
language.
If you have
classic
nothing to
Patriot
hide,
Act language.
being pulled
classic
over by Border Patrol shouldn't be frightening.
What makes America
Exactly.
great?
Americans, once again, he's putting Americans as second class. How dare you ask an illegal alien if they're illegal or not? How dare you check for their papers? How dare you check their ID? How dare you make sure that you and I can be pulled over by the police anytime and they ask us for our ID? They ask us for our insurance. They ask us for our registration. So this guy wants you, me, every American second to an illegal. No, you should not be able to ask an illegal or try to find out if they're a citizen or not. And if you do, are you sure we can trust Orange Man administration? But we'll trust the Biden administration bringing them in. False framing, and this chick is busting him on most of it. She's not perfect, but I'm telling you right now, oh, good girl. She is nailing it. I personally believe so. Let me know. Hey, how about this? If you think she's doing good, thumbs up in the chat for yes. If you think she's not, give a thumbs down. Let me know. Is she doing good? And also, hey, give me a second thumbs up if you think she's the best so far of anybody from that audience. I do. I think she gets double thumbs up. Hell, if you think she gets halfway, you can give one thumbs up, one thumbs down. Look, rate her right now between thumbs ups and thumbs downs. I want to see what you think.
Is our structure, our constitution, our way of life. So one of the people will often bring up to me
Our way of life,
Carter
not
Page
illegal
FISA
aliens' way of
warrants
life.
that the Department of Justice got on Carter Page. You guys remember this, the Russiagate stuff, right? Those Carter Page warrants were wrongfully obtained. And you guys cared about them. Why do you care about them?
But that was
You care
about an
them
American
because
citizen.
You don't want the government to intrude. This isn't even a matter of detention. It's not a matter-
No. False equivalency. Carter Page stuff. All this stuff was they were collecting info and trying to go after American citizens. Donald Trump, his cabinet, everybody who worked for him, his lawyers. They were going after American citizens. He's false equivalency again. This is illegal aliens. He's saying, well, you don't want them going after the American citizens, do you? We're not talking about American citizens, you total jackass.
Matter of execution. I assume that you care.
Thank you guys in the chat for letting me know. Yes, thumbs ups. I like her.
Hey, dipshit. It's called a rhetorical question.
Oh, this guy's
People
mad.
often
Sorry, I
bring up to
talked
me
over that.
The Carter Page FISA warrants that the Department of Justice got on
listen to the
Carter
background.
Page. You guys remember this, the Russiagate stuff, right? Those Carter Page warrants were wrongfully obtained. And you guys cared about them. Why do you care
Not
about
the same.
them? You care about them because you don't want the government to intrude. This isn't even a matter of detention. It's not a matter of execution. I assume that you care. It's called a rhetorical. It's called hey, dipshit. It's called a rhetorical question.
Bro, you gotta
dipshit.
come up.
Hey,
Dipshit.
It's called a rhetorical question. Hey, dipshit.
Yeah,
It's called a rhetorical question. You ever heard of it? Wait. So yes or no? Have you
Got
ever
him
heard
mad.
of a rhetorical question?
Got him mad.
Dipshit. But yes or no? Have you heard a rhetorical question?
Wait.
Yeah.
This is the guy you're gonna love.
Because
Yeah, that's 4 minutes for.
All right, we're going to skip to him. She does a great job. I do think she's the best so far. The guy speaking really sucks. Yeah, he does. That is Pisco is his name. He is a huge far left lawyer. I've seen him only once before this. Well, actually a couple more times because after today's culture war, I watched this morning. I went and looked him up. And Ryan in the chat was talking about how horrible he is. And my gosh, was he not kidding. Whoa. That guy is a lunatic level. Let me get to this guy that we were just yelling at in the chat. This lady did amazing. They pretty much were done with most of what she had addressing anyway. Let's get this angry dude up here who was just yelling from there real quick. All right, here he is. I will try to back up just enough to get right there.
You argue things that you don't.
This guy. All right. Enjoy this. This guy comes in hot. I mean, cooking. So hold on for this one. I'll try not to interrupt him very much, but I do think there's some hit and miss with him. I think he went in hot enough. He flew over a few things and got caught a few times because he was going so hot. Let me know what you think of this guy. I do think the last lady was epic. But this guy does a pretty good job, but he comes in cooking. He comes in, you crank that dial from 1 to 10, he's got 11 or 12.
So we need to get this show on the road so we can get as many people up here to debate. So go ahead, you got 1 minute.
So I don't understand, like, why you're arguing to people in a community that they should bring criminals back into it. Like,
Here it goes.
You argue things that you don't possess, like a moral dimension. Like, you don't give a fuck about America. You're on the side that kills children, 50 million babies in the last 50 fucking years, 325,000 children fucking sex trafficked, fucking 50,000 little girls had their... because of the way your party fucking votes. You're leading us to a path that only leads in violence, and I want to know fucking why.
Yeah, so
Sit down.
in the industry, we call that a gish gallop. So you just raise a bunch of different issues that are not topical: abortion, trans issues, and basically, like, you're doing anything, right? And I can tell to distract from the
100%,
issue
Bunny.
at hand, which is this just, and should it be brought back?
I want to point of order. Gish Gallop does not apply when we actually tell him he gets 1 minute unfettered to make.
Yeah, to whatever.
Well, it could still. Wait, you could.
He goes on, American Explorer. He ain't done. He just that was him on simmer. He warms up a little more here. He comes in pretty cooking hot.
He doesn't understand.
You still get your minute, but I'm just telling you, you're all over the place. All right, so try to stay focused.
It all interconnects.
The issue isn't. So, would you agree that Kilmar Abreu Garcia has the right to a presumption of innocence of the people who are accusing him of crimes? Yes or no?
He's illegal.
Why are you continuing
Will you
to
answer the
argue
question?
positions that will bring society to violence?
So should there be a presumption of innocence? Yes or no?
How do you have presumption of innocence for somebody that already broke the law, come in here? Your presumption of innocence is gone. He is an adjudicated illegal alien. All presumption of innocence is done. You're proven to have broken laws. You're proven MS-13. Done. There is no presumption of innocence. See how he's wrongfully framing again.
For an illegal alien? No, he's
Okay.
not fucking innocent.
So,
he's here illegally.
why-
Deport him. Why do you want American citizens to pay more fucking money to bring him back to deport him again? That's fucking retarded.
Should U.S. murderers get trials?
United citizens do.
should
If
they?
you're an illegal alien, you
Bro.
fucking don't. The due process is: are you a citizen? No. Okay, get the fuck out.
Calm the fuck down.
No,
Right?
don't tell him to calm down. Let him get
I'll tell
it
him to calm
out.
down. I'll tell him to calm down. I'll tell him to calm down.
passion, but we'll turn it.
Dude, look at the guy. He's squirming in the
If
chair.
you're an illegal
Watch
alien, you
his shit.
fucking don't. The due process is:
He's-
are you a citizen? No. Okay, get the fuck out.
Calm the fuck down.
No,
Right?
don't tell him to calm down.
Calm
Let
down.
him get
Yeah, I'll tell him to
jacked
calm
up.
down. I'll tell him to calm down. I'll tell him to
love
calm
the
down.
passion, but we'll turn it.
You look like you're about to blow
Pump it up.
up.
Pump it
You
up.
look like you're gonna
Pump it
blow
up.
up.
Sounded like an
Don't
8-year-old.
listen to those libtards or that libtard. Don't listen to them.
I grew up with a loud family,
So
so
just-
8 or 7
Just
is
to be
my
clear,
regular.
we have a constitution. We should follow it. That's what being American means. We should
It's
follow the
not
fucking
for
Then the
illegals.
fucking Biden administration shouldn't have let 20
Whataboutism,
fucking million illegals in.
whataboutism, what about?
Wait.
So should we follow the Constitution or
Boom.
not, sir?
And there you go. I said this whole debate has been bullshit because they let this man illegally frame and ignore the whole Biden bringing in 20 million, breaking constitutional, federal laws, Bill of Rights stuff, bringing in all this illegally. They've let him avoid it now for 1 hour and 11 minutes out of a 2-hour debate. This is the only man to push back. And as soon as he mentions, oh, Biden brought them all in illegally, he goes, false framing, you're not saying stuff that doesn't need us, bull. Watch. I'll back up just a couple seconds, but when he busts him on this, when he busts him on it, oh, how dare you? First person to actually call out what my whole
down.
problem with this
Don't
debate
tell him to calm
was.
down.
Calm
Let
down.
him get
Yeah, I'll tell him to calm
jacked
down.
up.
I'll tell him to calm down. I'll tell
We
him to
love
calm
the
down.
passion, but we'll turn it.
You look like you're about to
Pump
blow
it up.
fucking
Pump
gas.
it up.
Replay this
Sounded
part.
like an
Don't
8-year-old.
listen to those libtards or that libtard. Don't listen to them.
I grew up
think-
with a loud family,
So
so
just-
8 or 7
Just
is
to be
my
clear,
regular.
we have a constitution. We should follow it.
Not
That's what
for
being American
illegals.
means. We should
Okay,
follow the fucking
then the
constitution.
fucking Biden administration shouldn't have let 20
Whataboutism,
fucking million illegals in.
whataboutism, what about?
Wait.
So should we follow the
Whataboutism. So facts. The whole discussion was caused by the Biden administration bringing these people in illegally. And that guy calls it whataboutism. That's it. Total false framing. He's been able to stand on this false framing and nobody pushed back. They let him operate from a bad perspective, a perspective he knew was wrong. He's been able to operate. Look at the furrow. Look at his face. He is called out. He's caught and he's mad that his false framing is now being called out. Well, that's not valid to even talk about that. Bullshit. That guy busted you out. You got pwned, to use an older gamer phrase. That's it. Dude over there should have handed you some preparation H and a little bit of lube when he came up on stage here, because you just took it. You took it dry, and he's pissed. False equivalency, how dare you? How dare you? The whole thing that caused this. These people wouldn't be here for you to be bitching about due process if the Biden administration hadn't wiped their ass with due process. And only that, they didn't care how many Americans have been killed, interfered with, messed with, not had money from our government to help them. They didn't give a shit. All this was caused by what this guy here is saying, oh my God, whataboutism. What a jackass. Pisco lost. He took it dry, and this guy just rammed it back in again.
Constitution or not, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So if the Constitution,
citizens.
He just said we should follow the Constitution. If the Constitution says
citizens.
people do get due process rights, should we follow that?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So the Constitution.
Yes or no?
Nope, you don't get to answer no or yes.
So you don't think we should follow the Constitution when you decide?
Yes. How about asking me why on my opinions instead of just fucking assuming like every fucking midwit leftist does?
This is a lot. So you said we should follow the Constitution, and then the next.
It's a trap. See how he frames his questions? The guy just called him out again. Instead of just automatically attacking my answer, why didn't you ask why I answered this way? Why I think the way I think? No. You just automatically, gotcha. No. And no, illegal aliens do not have that right. And this guy, finally, an hour and 11 minutes in, calls out what I've said the whole first hour and 10 minutes was bullshit argument. Came from a bullshit point of view, a bullshit standard, a bullshit premise. And they didn't push until this guy caught it. Angry or not, got him.
I said, if it says that these people should get rights under the Constitution, should we follow? They said no. So explain that.
And so let me interject here, because I think I know exactly what you're saying when you brought up Biden letting in 20 million illegal immigrants. As Bill Ackman stated, a country that lets in 20 million people unvetted, but then cannot remove them, will lose its democratic values.
Yep.
An untenable.
I'm going to back that up.
Back to what you're saying when you brought up Biden letting in 20 million illegal immigrants.
Very important.
As Bill Ackman stated, a country that lets in 20 million people unvetted, but then cannot remove them, will lose its democratic values. An
Boom.
untenable. Listen, I want due process for everybody. I want constitutional rights where they apply. I am scared and confused right now because we have an untenable situation with immigration caused by Democrats. I don't know what to do. So when you come out and say we are now shackled to a system that will kill our country, I say I don't know that anyone will accept that.
All we can do is tell the left to stop because you're leading us towards violence. You are leading the country towards violence. Fucking stop. Every one of your arguments is wrong and full of every fucking logical fallacy we could think of. Shut the fuck up. Stop arguing for fucking destroying our country.
So the enemy is within. The people who are destroying the
Yeah, the enemy is within. It's you. It is you saying, how dare you talk about the illegals who came in. And as that guy's about to say it.
The people who are destroying this country are the bootlicking shills.
Fallacy we can think of. Shut the
that
fuck up.
You see
Stop
that yell.
arguing for fucking destroying our country.
So the enemy is within. The people who are destroying this country, the people who are destroying this country are the bootlicking shills. The bootlicking shills who just trust the government.
That's you. He's describing himself. Democrats project. He's describing him and everybody on his side the last 4 years. The Democrat boot-licking shills who covered for Biden, then all of us with common sense knew he was mentally deficient from the election on. We saw him screw up in the election. People were calling it out then. The whole 4 years, we knew he was not the real president. Everybody's calling it out. And then suddenly in the debate, when they couldn't hide him, or all the media, all the Democrats suddenly going, what the hell? We didn't know. We had no idea Joe Biden was compromised or mental. What a surprise. When most of America's going, oh, bullshit. Bullshit. We don't believe that. You don't believe that. Fuck off. And now he's like, oh, you're the cult shills. Yeah, we're the cult shills 120 days in compared to you assholes who lied to America for 4 fucking years. More than 4 years if you include the election. Everybody knew Biden was not the president. He was saved by the Easter Bunny. He's shitting his pants everywhere. He's standing there like Cornholio, Beavis and Butthead dude in the meetings. You thought he's got a rocket pack on. We all knew the man couldn't talk straight. There are videos out there that are 4 hours long of him continually fucking up, forgetting where he is and screwing up. But this guy wants to say you, me, and most of America, even a lot of Democrats knew. But this guy says, we're the shills. That is it. He has 0 leg to stand on.
Who just trust the government. Listen,
like fucking Democrats with the Biden administration?
No.
You guys didn't criticize a single fucking thing they did.
Guys. No.
This guy is carpet bombing this dude at this point. It's a saying, YouTube. He is totally owning this dude. And I'm sorry, Tim is usually a better debater than this. I know some people don't like Tim that much. But he's usually a better debater than this. I don't know if he was up with his daughter. I don't know. He should have been the one calling out the stuff this guy is. I don't know if Tim let it go to stretch out the debate. I don't know. He should have been saying this. This is all false. This guy is right. Where were the Democrats for 4 years? You criticized nothing. You covered for it actively. Not just didn't criticize. You talk shills. You actively covered for Biden, called everybody names, took people off the internet, even threatened to arrest people. You tried to make a government disinformation board, George Orwell style, to shut people up talking about it. That is crap. It shouldn't have taken this guy out of hour and 11 minutes to be the first to say, what the fuck were you doing for 4 years? And this guy's still falling back there.
No one in this room trusted the government under the Biden administration. You did. One guy did. All right, we're good. The point is, when you say they're bootlicking shills, it's every 4 years the Democrats say you're a bootlicking shill, then 4 years later they're the bootlicking shills.
So just to be clear, the reason why we want to follow the Constitution, even if there are people you don't like, and you can raise a lot of stink about people you don't like and why we should break the law to go
He's
after
back to that Constitution.
We don't trust
Bullshit.
the next 4 years. You're not going to get a president AOC. You're not going to get a president, whoever the fucking worst leftist is that you think. And now that you've made a road through the Constitution, you've made a road for your own back, and they're going to come after you, and they're going to attack your First Amendment rights. You guys all understand this.
We will erode whatever we have to stop you, because you've been eroding it for centuries.
So the real enemies are those.
Yes, well, decades. There's the fear porn again. He goes right back. He falls back on fear porn. Well, your side's going to go after American citizens. They're going to go full Hitlers on you. They're going to take away your rights, put you in concentration camps. They're going to take away all your rights. You mean like the Biden administration tried to do? Jailing people who disagreed? COVID stuff? You couldn't even say things. You were taken down, arrested. The Government Disinformation Bureau they tried to make with Mary Poppins singing. I could call that lady up again. But he wants a fear porn. Oh, it's the orange man that's gonna go after American citizens. Which is what Democrats just did for 4 fucking years. Sorry, guys, I get a little worked up, but geez Louise, it's about time. And he goes right back to fear porn. Scare you all of the evil orange man who is Hans Gruber, Megamind, and every evil bad guy you've ever seen in TV or movies all put together. Let's see. Like I said before, my dad's ancestors came to America in 1636. They all fought in the wars, bleed red, white, and blue. 100%. I'm not going to tell you my family. My family is actually in many high school textbooks fighting in the Civil War in this country. Some of them are decently famous. There are 2 counties, one in Illinois, one in Oklahoma, named after my family. There's a museum in Oklahoma where my family is prominent on the side of the North. I shocked when I was in high school and found, oh my God, that's my family. It was cool. So yes, I am with you, Bunny. I get it. Walrads. Hey, how's it going? Did I say that right? Yeah, Walrads. How's it going? God bless Trump. I can agree, man. Welcome, by the way. Yes, he is right. Made me sick to see our country going down the toilet. Yeah. Yeah. Where was this guy to call out Biden administration? They wouldn't let anybody from the center or the right even say anything. They called you names, didn't believe you, would take you down. The news, oh my God. Remember, Scarborough in the morning. This is the best Biden we've ever seen. He's amazing behind the scenes. He's doing handstands. He's doing Sudoku. He's doing Stephen Hawking level math behind the scenes. He's amazing. They were all saying that. Well, I've been in meetings with him. He is epic. He's on it. He's awake. He's alert. He's calling the shots. Yet then he walks out and craps himself. He can't walk in a circle. He's got flashcards. Insane. Walrads, what we're doing to Russia is wrong. You know what? Welcome, and that's a different take. I will say I'm not a big fan of Russia, but I do not believe they are existential enemy. China is. China is much more dangerous than Russia, and I will use the Democrats' own words to prove it. Democrats, oh my God, Russia's going to take over Europe. Some of you know where I'm going with this. Democrats also. Ha ha. Russia can't even take little Ukraine. Which is it? The very fact that Russia did not take Ukraine before America and everybody got involved says it all. They are not the superpower they used to be. They are not going to take over the world. And yes, Walrads, I will agree. And hello and welcome. If I already said that once, but welcome again. I like your comment. We'll get back to this in a sec, guys. We're almost done with this, but yes, Russia is not our biggest enemy. I'm not saying they're our buddies, but China is, and the fact that our government people, both parties, try to ignore it and go, Russia, Russia, Russia bad. Oh my God, Russia! Says it all. They have money involved. They're in bed with China. Watch China.
For those who would tell you to give up your country, give up the Constitution, don't follow it.
You
That's
took
what
our
Biden
fucking
does.
country with the Biden administration.
Yeah.
This is why I brought up the question before to hear Will. Will's like a very straight-laced forward. I'm a lawyer. I'll answer his questions.
He's
That's
too
what I wanted to hear
vanilla.
what he had to say about it. Here's my view. You guys know me. When I was young, I despised the Bush administration. Obama came in, and before he did, I was like, everyone's telling me it's going to be different. Then, boy, that motherfucker killed a lot of people. And spied on people. And the National Defense Authorization Act, indefinite detention provision. I said, holy shit, fuck. You guys know me.
Does anybody remember what Tim's talking about there? Spied on people? That's been memory hold by Democrats. Democrats are epic at this. They memory hold May 29th, 2020, Washington, D.C. J6 is out there, but what about May 29th? When they marched through Washington, D.C., destroyed half of the downtown, went to the White House grounds, knocked down fences on the White House grounds, burned 2 guard posts on White House grounds, injured 200 to 300 Secret Service and Washington, D.C. police, burned a church across from the White House, and the president be put in a bunker. The only thing people remember is Bunker Boy. That's it. They are good at memory holding. And right here, he talks about, let's see here. Let's hang on.
So
he talks about right here.
This is why I brought up the question before to hear Will. Will's like a very straight-laced forward. I'm a lawyer. I'll answer his questions.
Come on,
That's
get
why
to
I
it.
wanted to
I
hear what he had
backed
to say
up
about
too
it.
much.
Here's my view. You guys know me. When I was young, I despised the Bush administration. Obama came in, and before he did, I was like, everyone's telling me it's going to be different. Then, boy, that motherfucker killed a lot of people. And spied on people.
The spying on people is memory hold just as much as May 29th. A lot of people don't even remember. Obama was caught. They were tapping into the offices of the world leaders that were our friends. German's Chancellor Angela Merkel was pissed. The UK Prime Minister was pissed. Multiple other of our allies were pissed. It was a whole thing for like 6 months there that was holy shit. We were spying on the private communications and offices of our so-called allies. That was the Obama administration. Look that shit up. That has been memory hold by Democrats. They are extremely good at that. Republicans should get off their ass and be as good. You never hear May 29th. You never hear about Obama spying and wiretapping. They were called wiretapping the private communications of the world leaders that were our allies. Not our enemies, our allies. So yes, that is crap. And that's been memory hold and forgotten. Obama was a piece of shit. So was Bill Clinton, but I voted for him. I think he's the first person I was allowed to vote for. I believe so. But Bill Clinton was a shitty person, but he was actually a decent president. But a crappy person. Of course, he's probably scared of his life due to his wife. I would be. Ooh. I mean, let's see, catch up the chat here. Thank you, Walrads, by the way, for coming in with a great topic. I appreciate that. Good comment. I mean, give me a break. They were constantly sending me threats to do a census or pay a fine. Yeah. Which is they couldn't do. It was crap. That was BS. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Get them idiots off my back. Yes. As well as fine for not having health insurance. Yes. I can tell you a little story here. This is a personal one. As some of you know, I used to be a partner in a auto repair shop. My business partner who I joined with, he busted his ass to make sure we had good medical insurance. Not just for me with my crappy health, but for other employees, for himself. It cost our small company a lot. What happened? Obama came in with his Obamacare. And what did he do? He put a huge Cadillac tax. Not only did he raise the rates, but he put a Cadillac tax, they called it, on our small company and every small company who had their own private insurance that was good. They wanted to eliminate that, so they put a Cadillac tax on that made it so our small company could no longer afford to pay for health care or to help with the health care of our employees. Totally screwed him, me, and our other employees. We lost our health care. And in our area, there was no Obamacare plan that was anywhere near close. We could not keep our health care. He lied. Thankfully, my wife had decent insurance that costs us to this day a shitload, unfortunately. It's one of our biggest expenditures, but we both need it. But thankfully, we're able to fall back on hers because Barack Obama took away my health care, that of the people of my small business, and many others around this country. So, yeah, Obama was a piece of shit. He did amazing corrupt stuff that damaged this country. I personally know a few people with my lung problem that are no longer with us because they had jobs where they had health insurance and lost it. And the Obamacare plan they could get in their area didn't cover near as much. And they ended up not being covered with most of their meds or hospital stays. That's crap. And I'm still angry. Let me catch up here. I think we're up against deep state news. Communist, woke, neocon, conglomerate. Oh, what I would call it, Walrads. I know I'm not the only person who calls it this, the Uniparty. I trust Republicans teeny bit more than the Democrats, because right now at this time in our country's history, the Democrats are ODFS. If you grew up redneck like me, you know what ODFS means. Out there fucking somewhere. They're gone. They're goofy. They've lost it. Are there some people on the right that are horrid too? Yes. But right now, if you have to have an equivalency test, the right are much more accepting, much more level-headed. They're pussies who do jack nothing even when they have the power, but they're less insane than the left. The left is the guy that walks into the guard starts banging the machete on the table going, that's it. That's it. It's going down. It's like, crap. That's the left right now. So yeah, Walrads, it is not just party, but our government, deep state is a good word for them, and uniparty. Occupational forces. Hey, how's it going? We're almost done with this, and then we'll move into a few other things, guys, but I hope you like some of the live reaction. We've done some good discussions on this. You guys had some great comments. You've had some good discussions in the chat amongst yourselves. Feel free to do that. That is great. Did you cover the UN judge? I don't think so. We were doing a live reaction to a Tim Pool culture war debate I saw that just pissed me off. But we are going to talk about Elizabeth Warren, Adam Schiff, and some crazy people and stuff going on X here in a little bit. But welcome. And thank you, by the way, for the sub. I appreciate it. All my links are in the description for the video, by the way. And I appreciate the time. Please thumbs up. If you haven't yet so far, please thumbs up the stream here or on Rumble, whichever you're on. I know I'm not checking the Rumble chat because nobody ever chats on Rumble. Even when people are there, they never chat. It's weird as heck. But yes, please thumbs up. And if you like anything I do, please come back and check me out. If I can hold your interest, amuse you, or annoy you 3 times in a row, then please I ask you to subscribe. But until I earn it, nah, make me work for it. I should have to work for it. And I'm not here to be an echo chamber. Feel free to agree, disagree, bring up questions. I also say, LyonsDenWS6@gmail.com. Send me topics you would like me to cover, including a UN judge. Another things you would like to ask or know. So, all right. What the heck? Obama is Weather Underground. Yes. Yes, that is a very good equivalency, by the way. Celtic Spirits Coven, welcome back. I saw you in there. Sorry, let me back up. I can't remember if I... Your iPhone and Android are public eavesdropping. Yes. Spelling devices, yes. And I use a VPN on my phone, which actually does scramble and cut a lot of that down. It really does. I run a VPN on everything. I'm running a VPN right now on this computer. I'm running a VPN on this one. Even my Fire Stick runs a VPN. It's not perfect, but it definitely helps. Let's see here. It does indeed run much deeper than party, 100%. You're not an Italian Jew? What the hell? No, I'm actually not Jewish. I guess you would consider me Christian. I don't know. I'm not a big churchgoer. I'm not sure which... I don't know, part or denomination I would believe in, but I do believe there's something spiritual. I don't know if it's the God described in the Bible, but I believe there's something else. I believe there is. So, I don't know if you just call me spiritual, but I think I would call myself Christian light. How's that? I'm not Italian, but not sure where that was going. Again, for you guys to check out the full video. It is worth watching. You will be annoyed, though, at that Pisco guy.
The National Defense Authorization Act, indefinite detention provision. I said, holy shit, fuck these people. You know me, when I was young, I despised the Bush administration. Obama came in, and, before he did, I was like, everyone's telling me it's going to be different. Then, boy, that motherfucker killed a lot of people and spied on people. And the National Defense Authorization Act, indefinite detention provision. I said, holy shit, fuck these people. Then Trump ran against Hillary, and I said, holy fuck, this country is insane. Trump wins, and for the most part, I'm like, I don't care for this shit. Then the Democrats started losing their fucking minds with DEI and weird fucking shit.
Ooh,
and then Trump in 2020 said, I got no new wars. I'm setting up a timeline for withdrawal from Afghanistan. I'm getting rid of DEI and government contracting. And I said, actually, this is pretty good. But what did they do to the man for those 4 years? They accused him of being a traitor to this country. Then after this, they started arresting his lawyers. They falsely accused him of crimes. They claim that a misdemeanor charge, which arguably could be a single count, was 34 felonies. They created a new law in New York so that a woman can say 30 years ago he sexually abused me. I can't prove it. I wore a dress from the future, and I had a magic key to open the door. And I'm sitting here watching numerous Trump lawyers get arrested. Now we're in the Trump administration, and they're begging me, please, please stick to decorum. Don't arrest lawyers. Don't arrest judges. That motherfucker, you did it first. You did this to us, and now we're upset and saying, what do we do?
Welcome to...
There you go. Tim finally came out. He finally got angry, finally stated some facts. Worship Jesus, he was a Jew. Yes, he was. Not hating, just an honest question. No, I'm actually not. If you want to look at my lineage, I'm mostly Scotch-Irish, which is why me and my wife both have our Celtic in our rings. We are mostly Scotch-Irish, both of us. I probably have a little bit of a few other things mixed in, but I'm not exactly Italian. But no, I'm not saying you're hating at all, bud. Trust me. He's not a witch or white supremacist, just normal, no pressure from us or left indoctrination. Yeah, 100%. Yes, Celtic, you do state yourself very well, but I don't see you ever pressuring anybody. I learned a long time ago there is no fence to sit on between heaven and hell. Johnny Cash. Ooh, nice, Jim. Nice. Jews are still waiting for Jesus. He's been here and gone. I'm not as biblical as some of you guys probably are, but I think I understand what you're talking about. Yes. Even though they are still hoping for him to come back. Right? If I remember right? Second coming type thing, right? What is white supremacy? Wanting Ireland for the Irish. Yeah. White supremacy is a tool of the left because they are down to the level of the others. It is a globalist view. They use the phrase white supremacy now to shut everybody up. You're a racist, white supremacist, shut up. Enjoy the browning of America. Enjoy the browning of other countries. But they never talk about how it's good if Africa becomes more white. It'd be good if Mexico became more white. It'd be good if China became more. Hear it that way. So yeah, white supremacy is a tool. Tool being used by World Economic Forum, Davos, whatever you want to call, UN. It's a tool just to shut white people up, to bring down the Western civilization to a lower level, for them to manage, for them to rule. They want a one world government, everybody to join. Once again, a litmus test is why they never say, hey, it'd be great if the NBA becomes more white. Be great if the NFL becomes more white. Be great if Africa becomes more white. Only goes one way. Yes, WEF talking points. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You'll live in the pod. You'll eat the bugs. You'll own nothing.
To the Civil War you started.
Yeah. All right, guys, give it up. Now, all right, hey, what's your name? Say your name before you go.
I'm Nicholas Steinbrecher, lost and found on Discord. Also representing the Jamcast Discord.
Thank you, Nick.
All right.
All right, now our next debate.
Now that is 115 into 156. We are going to leave it there. I will drop the link in the chat here. Hang on. Let me grab this link so you guys can go watch the rest of it yourself. Let me move me over here a little. And I will put that in the chat for you guys. Maybe. There it is. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's saying YouTube does have an error off and on. I don't know why. But now it's back to excellent connection. I don't know what's going on, but it ain't me. My internet's beautiful. I'm even hardwired. I do not run Wi-Fi on this because of issues in the past. So that is the link to the full Rumble video. I would recommend going and checking it out. We are going to leave it there. That's enough of discussing that. We're going to move on to a few other things. A lot of me. I'm a believer in Jesus. I was so close to death. See, like I said, I was raised in a house where my father was, honestly, atheist. Not throwing him under a bus. My mother, on the other hand, was a Lutheran Christian. On me or off of me. They always let me make my own choices. I went with friends to church. I've always been thoughtful and wondering. And I will admit, the older I've gotten a little closer to spiritual and thinking, God, what is up there? Who is it? Yes, God, but I am definitely spiritual, and I think there is something beyond what we are able to realize. That's just my belief. King of the Jews, yes. Yep, he was. It just doesn't like, YouTube just doesn't like you, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, the Rumble stream is doing decent. Rumble's actually locked up, I think. Let me see, Rumble, what are you doing? Yeah, Rumble is locked. Uh-oh. I think Rumble's locked up. I don't know what Rumble's doing. Uh-oh, let me check Rumble here. I'm trying to see what Rumble's doing. Am I streaming on both? It doesn't say it's ended. Ah, it's just locked. So I do not know if Rumble is going or not. Hang on here. I'm going to try to refresh it and get it going. Oh, hey, there we go. American Explorer's in the chat. Okay, Rumble's going again. Rumble just locked itself up. American Explorer, thank you. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that because now I'm sure the chat in Rumble works. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Let me answer you. Oh, hey, wrong computer. Whoopsie. Oops, wrong mouse. That's the problem when you're running too much stuff. I am going to close that anyway. Sorry. But let me go over to the right computer. There we go. All right, guys. Let's head back over here, catch up. Sorry about that. I don't know what Rumble did, but they locked up. And I didn't even know American Explorer had been there. So, yeah, that was interesting. There we go. What is this doing? There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to recorrect because when I had that glitchiness, it changed a couple of my settings. There we go. All right. Let's go back over here, see what you guys are talking about. That will bring me back to a little bigger. Actually, I'm going to bring me up to... Actually, I want to go here anyway. So we are going to go over here. Right here. Pull this up and go here. There we go. All right, so now I'm caught back up. I see you, American Explorer. All right. Let me see here. Catch up now that I'm done correcting stuff. If Jesus didn't exist, I don't think that Rumble handles glitchies very well. If Jesus didn't exist, were killed in the flood. And wasn't that virtuous? Look at the text, but we helped destroy slavery in America. We have many years of protecting the Constitution. Yes. Yeah. I don't know all of what you're saying, but I understand most of it. And yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, I'm definitely more spiritual than I used to be. Science doesn't cover everything. Lutheran is just Catholic light. Oh, that is so loved. So is Presbyterianism or Protestantism. Wow. Wow, I could really screw that one up easy. All right, guys, but yeah, that is the Tim Pool culture war. The rest of it kind of isn't near as good from there. Thank you for wading through that with me, and your chat was epic. It really was. So now we're going to move on to a little bit of X craziness. I love this. Republicans in Congress are scrambling to fund tax giveaways for billionaires. This is Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas. Where do they want to take the money away from? Programs that provide hot meals for seniors and childcare for babies. One, she's a liar. She is a liar. And I love how people are calling her out. Oops, where is it? There it is. Somebody. Also you. Her salary, $285,000. Net worth, $67 million. What the hell? Doesn't seem to add up. Doesn't add up. So yeah. I don't think can make a post. I don't think she can make a post with the word billionaire in it. She has made a career of divisiveness and fear mongering. It must work though. People still buy her BS because here's from her. This is an actual quote you can look up from her. There is nothing in the Constitution that says ordinary Americans have a right to see what we're spending tax dollars on. Senator Warren, January 30th, 2025. That is something you can look up. Insane. This twat, who is worth way more than she should be in our government, doesn't think you, me, the rest of America has a right to know where our tax dollars are going. That says it all about these people. But they're going to attack Trump. Who's the dictator? The guy trying to give transparency to our government or the woman who says you do not have the right to transparency. That is the Democrats. You do not have the right to know where your tax dollars are going. They will take it. You will just say, thank you, sir. Can I have some more? That is it. Yeah, that's why I like calling her Pocahontas. Lied about being a Native American for a long time. Seems the older I get, the more spiritual. I don't know. That's just me, 100%. And I will say some of it's vested interest because as you get closer to that ending, man, I'll tell you, being a sentient being comes with a downside. Because, oh crap, an end. What do we do? What happens? Oh, it runs through your mind. So yes, a lot of people do become more spiritual. More believing in God. More believing in a God. More believing in something beyond. So yeah. She's full of BS. 100%. Yeah, reading her daily script of dumb shit to say. I love how more people on her own personal X account are calling her out. Used to be the left would be the only ones in here. Yeah, Trump evil. Now, yeah, you'll see those. But it's stupid. Senator Warren's claim ignores $165 billion in documented waste, fraud, and abuse already slashed by Doge. Funds that were funneled into bloated contracts, redundant grants, and bureaucratic bloat instead of serving taxpayers. Yes. So yeah, I'm just picking a few here to talk about. But yeah, what a jackass. Pure jackass. This person. Is this what you voted for? The FBI is now arresting judges who help migrants evade ICE. Is this what you voted for? Yes. Yes. 100%. If a judge is breaking the law, obstructing justice, and by the way, if you break the law, I break the law, and we go, well, I didn't know that was illegal. They go, ignorance of the law is no defense. This is a judge, a lawyer, she knew, broke the law. All these judges know when they're breaking the law. So yes, they should be arrested. They don't even have the, well, I didn't know defense. They knew. 100% knew. This is what you voted for. Trump administration has fired 400 scientists working on a Congress-mandated climate report because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. 100%. All right. Gonna scooch on a little more here. Oh, I said liberal. Oh, okay, let me back up. What did I respond to here? Let's go to here. Go to bookmarks. Oh, we'll get to that one in a minute. Oh, we will. I'm going to skip for a second. Let's see here. Oligarchs. We've been on a while. We're not going to dig too much deeper. We're going to head into, let's see. Oh, the Trump administration is openly talking about suspending the writ of habeas corpus if the courts continue to rule against him illegally. They don't have the authority to do that. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Even Abe Lincoln did it. Yes, he does have the power. It's funny how suddenly under Joe Biden had the power to do whatever he wanted. But then Trump gets in. The president has the power to do nothing. Suddenly when Trump bumps in, you can do zero. He doesn't have any power. He's the president. Screw you, idiot. And their threats are as reckless, irresponsible as they are dangerous. This lying asshole should be in jail. 100% in jail. He suborned perjury. He helped hide J6 footage. They hid it. That's why the Q shaman, as he was called, Jacob Chansley, is now out. They hid it. They used him as the face of the evil J6er. Then they showed the actual evidence, which the courts and J6 committee withheld. And the prosecutors knew it. They illegally convicted a man who did not do what they said. Once the footage came out and everybody got to see, oh shit, he's walking around being peaceful, telling people not to damage themselves, helping pick things up, talking to the cops, praying with the cops, they're showing him around. Oops. They hid 44,000 hours of footage. That is illegal. That's why this jackass little, he looks like, Mr. Hand. He looks like Mr. Hand from South Park. His illegal ass needed a pardon because of that. That's illegal. Illegal as hell. Yes, Trump will be in good company. 100%. This man is thought of as one of the best presidents in the history of this country. And half of what he did is stuff Trump is doing or is proposing to do. Amazing. Abe Lincoln good. Trump bad. It's amazing how you Democrats decided to make these cringy videos after the election. Yeah. I like this. Once remodeled, you will have a cell waiting for you at Alcatraz. Yes. I'm sorry, that is hilarious. Gotta love AI. Woo, that's something there. That's a good thumbnail right there. Woo, man. Made by Grok. I'm gonna look at that. Yes, 100%. All right. Enough fun with that. We're gonna move on. All right. Guys, I know I'm going to say this again. I haven't said it much. We've been on for a little over 2 hours. Please hit thumbs up if you haven't. Share the stream or channel with anybody you know that might be interested in this stuff, that might like to discuss, argue, debate, see craziness. Try to have a little common sense even from my crazy butt in my den here. I don't automatically ask people to subscribe, but if I can amuse you, annoy you, or make you laugh 10 minutes out of every stream, 3 streams, then please subscribe then. But I should have to earn it. I love Elon and his team finding all the phony crap. It is crazy. And the stances the Democrats having to take shows, just like they do with voting rights, how they're mad if any voter ID or how dare you stop dead people from voting. Kind of says it all when you're against, getting fraud out of our elections. Yeah, because it means you like the fraud. And still say black people are too stupid to get an ID. Black people are too dumb to work the internet. Dude, black people, wake up. That is racist. That is insanely racist. Imagine if a Republican, come out and said, yeah, black people just can't work a cell phone. Black people don't know how to use the internet. Black people can't use computers. Black people can't figure out what their DMV is. Black people just can't get an ID. Oh my God, the racism would be screeching. Be like, ah! But because Democrats say it, they go, what? No, that's fine. All right, but hang on here. You ready for this? Ho, ho, ho. This guy is a nut. So hold on to your ears. No joke. This guy is a lunatic. Potential DC ICE raids. Woman detained after giving birth. What? No. This guy is nuts. Just listen to him. This is the left. Makes me seem hinged.
What the actual fuck is happening in this country? We have fucking ICE raids starting tomorrow in Washington, D.C., targeting restaurant workers, people just trying to make a living. And let me be clear, ICE has already detained at least 12 U.S. citizens. Citizens, let that fucking sink in. While a Guatemalan asylum seeker was separated from a newborn baby right after giving birth. Are you hearing me? This administration is ripping mothers from their children and calling it border security. Fuck that! And what does the president say? He doesn't know if he needs to uphold the Constitution. He doesn't know.
He didn't say that.
Citizens deserve due fucking process. You are the president.
When did he say that? We're talking about illegals.
United States. If you don't know if the Constitution applies, you shouldn't be in this damn fucking job. They're going after CBS trying to remove their license and attack on the First Amendment because they don't like the fucking headlines. This is not leadership. This is fascism in real time. All of this while we're spiraling toward a recession because of bullshit fucking tariffs that make zero economic sense and that will hit the most vulnerable the hardest. This is not just politics. This is a 5-alarm fire for democracy, humanity, and basic goddamn decency. 14 Trump's birthday, we're not lighting candles, we're lighting the fucking streets. We rise, we march, we fight back, because if not now, when?
Wow. Wow. Wow, I'm going to share that on Lyons Den WS6 on X. If you would like to go look at that and repost it yourself. That is nuts. That is a leftist. And yes, I know I can get worked up. I know people like Salty Cracker can get worked up. That there was a lunatic, insane rant. He was about 2 seconds from having a coronary. Everything he said was a lie. Insane. What did I miss here? Your sleep schedule is as erratic as mine. Who the hell is awake at 4 a.m.? Me and Connie sometimes, Jim. Yeah, Connie was on my Red Eye stream this morning. Actually, a pretty good dang stream, wasn't it, Connie? If I may so myself. Not a lot of people, very late, but we actually had some good stuff going on. So feel free to check that out if you like, if you're bored, if you have time. So yeah, today's liberalism is indeed a mental disorder, 100%. And like this, Defiant L says, he seems sane. Yeah. Once again, to use my Midwest redneck phrase, he is ODFS. In fact, we may add an extra F in that one. What the absolute shite is wrong with that lunatic? Insane. What is... This chick is playing... Okay. I don't know if some of you... let me see here. I don't know if Occupational Forces is still here. If you are, oh, did you know this chickie poo is playing Jesus Christ in coming up in the new Jesus Christ Superstar or whatever it is they're doing, their Jesus Christ movie. I don't know the movie, sorry, I forgot. But yeah, Cynthia Erivo is playing Jesus Christ. I crap you not. Holy jeez Louise.
What are your favorite sustainable practices? Oh, we're doing an interview now? Then I'll just go for the
Okay, I'm going to ask a question that's off topic. Sorry, here. How do you wipe with those nails without damaging yourself? Or is she so rich she just has somebody wipe for her? You are not, I will say, you are not wiping your ass with nails like that. My God, imagine if you got an itch by your eye. Oh, crap. She's like Wolverine.
I like to make sure that I have teas. You can actually use paper teas instead of like using the.
Look at those nails. That is insane. He gets a scream from his car because he's not allowed in Mom's house. Oh my, Jim, buddy, that was gorgeous. Oh God, Jim. I don't think you've had those gummies yet, have you? You're a little too feisty for the gummies. Oh, very nice. Oh, Jim, you get a couple golf claps for that one. Beautiful. But yeah, this is your new... I swear, that's who she's playing. All right. Let's see. Go back to my bookmarks here a little bit. More bookmarks. I can't remember what I bookmarked anymore. The old lunatic boy, we saw him. We saw that. All right, let's do a few. All right, we're in the portion of the stream. We're going to be out of here in about 10, 15 minutes. Please put your seat backs in the upright position. Get your tray tables out of the way. Belt yourself in, and we're going to try to... I don't know if we're going to laugh. I don't know if we're going to cry, or we're just going to have our blood pressure rise up a little more. This is over at Anti-Woke Memes. Every single time I see myself in the future, I see myself as a woman, as a mother. Who is going to tell this biological male? Okay.
Because it's so emotionally charged right now, but I have to tell you some of the good things that are happening. I've been talking to my doctors and my therapist a lot about how I am more of a woman than I initially anticipated. I don't know why that feels like such a huge thing to say. I don't want to leave behind anybody in the non-binary community. I will never forego that label. It will always feel like something accurate to me. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Why is this such a big thing? I have felt more of a call than ever to get in touch with who I truly am. And it's just coming out as a woman every single time I see myself in the future. I see myself as a woman, as a...
How much soy and tofu did you eat? What the heck? And yes, I'm dancing because I am still on YouTube.
Mother, I see myself. I see myself turning into my mom. The good parts and the parts I don't want to turn into. Like, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Oh, God. This is such a disaster.
No, I cannot relate to turning into my mother.
Oh, God, this is good. I had my first... Where are my glasses? I can't even see you. This is going horribly. Sit there for a second. I had my first appointment where I switched from estrogen pills to injections, and it was so emotional. I looked at the nurse and I was sobbing.
That's because estrogen makes you emotional. What the shit? This is crazy. Oh. All right. I don't know if I can do this or not, guys. I don't know if there's some type of copyright in this. I don't think so. But I'm going to have to stop and dance on this. This is a new theme song for mass deportations. Actually, it's against mass deportations. So hold on, I may have to stop a couple times in this because I don't know. But this is stupid. Just read the captions if you don't get the words. Like I said, I will be stopping. Because I don't know. And YouTube is asshole. They are asshole. Don't trust YouTube. They're asshole. They will illegally copyright strike you, even if you're following fair use law.
The truth, and then this is reality. This is the truth, and then this is a tragedy. Taking the children away from the family. Why is this happening? It's a catastrophe. Stop with the vanity. Where is humanity? We are the refugees. We are in agony. We've been the ones that have been taking your salary.
We're the ones been taking your salary. Well, there's a good way to make us feel for you. Yeah, that'll help.
We are the farm workers. We are the dishwashers.
Yeah, because companies, businesses, and even farmers do not want to pay real wages anymore. They can pay you under the table, pay crap, and that's it.
Yeah, we are the ones. Yeah, we are the ones. Yeah, we are the hard workers. We are the lawnmowers.
Really? I don't know. I have my own lawn mower.
We are the leaf blowers. Yeah.
Okay, how does that one work? Oh. Come on, I know my lungs suck.
We are the ones, yeah, we are the ones, yeah, we are the ones that are working construction, and we are the ones that will fix your destruction, and we are the ones that make fruit on your table.
Wow. Talk about self-love, huh? Yeah.
We are the ones that been given a label, and we are the ones that you blame it for taking your just what you pay.
Because you are taking our jobs. I grew up in the country. A lot of detasseling jobs, working on farms, mucking out stalls, putting up hay bales. Those jobs are now taken by a lot of illegal aliens in a lot of areas. Because yes, I love me some farmers, but some of them are scurvy pricks paying these guys pennies on the dollar to do the job. Who put your kids in the cages? Obama. Yeah. Cheap labor, stay in your own country and wash dishes and be farm workers. 100%. Exactly. Cheap labor. The hell? American Explorer. She's actually quite racist in this rant. Yes, isn't she though? Saying they're all lawn workers, dishwashers, farm workers. Yeah, I don't see her saying, we're the physicists. We're the meteorologists. Yeah. We're your auto mechanics. We're your plumbers. Nope. It's all moron work. Not doing real well for her peoples, is she? We're the dumb asses doing the shit work because we're not educated or smart enough to do the other stuff. Need to make my own rap. If I had any musical skill, I would. Then I'd copyright my own myself. All right. Let's see what other... If you think Trump is president, you're delusional.
People are going to call me delusional, and I simply do not care.
Hog ring in her nose, plus nose ring on the side. Yep. Automatic. The sign of the devil. The sign of the Democrat devil.
If you think in the same America where the Eagles who have denounced MAGA have a quarterback with an all-women, predominantly black management team, won the Super Bowl. Beyonce won Album of the Year in country. Black woman dominated the Grammys this year. You think Trump is president of the United States in 2025? You are the delusional one. And people want to say, the people who say Kamala won are delusional. I denounce that. Madam VP is my president. And I am not saying this because I'm a strong Democrat.
Does anybody have a clue what the fuck she's talking about? What?
I am an abolitionist through and through. But I do think she truthfully and honestly won the election. And in due time, that'll all be revealed. I have said that and I stand by that. Go birds. Go black women. Go black people. This has been a wondrous Black History Month thus far.
Oh no. No, we have yet to have a Black History Month. If we're going to have a real Black History Month, they ain't going to like it. No, they play the sanitized Black history, the bullshit Black history. Just all it is, ooh, white people bad. That's the Black History Month. White people bad, black people amazing. They don't talk about the truth. Black people are still doing slaveries in other countries around the world. They did it long before America existed. I'm sorry, but the more melanated folks have more slavery and have always had more slaveries throughout time than any of the less melanateds. Fact. Let's show that in Black History Month. I dare them. I dare them. God, you just caused a flashback to detasseling corn in the summer. Yep. Dude, yes, it did give us work ethic. And not only that, but man, when you were that age, that was money. That was good, hard work and sweaty. Yeah, money, baby. She's nuts and full of BS and racist. 100%. She's more convoluted than a washing machine. Yeah, she's got more spin than a washing machine, doesn't she? My Lord. Whatever. All right, here's a cute one. All right, this one, I'm going to blow this one up a little bit. Okay, enjoy the brain rot that's about to hit you.
You men are not going to like me for saying this, but you know what? I don't care. America, I think it's time
Nose
we
ring.
form a state where only women can live. No men allowed. Just an estrogen-filled utopia where we can all finally live in peace. You men are not going to like me for saying this, but you know what? I don't care. America, I think it's time we form a state where only women can live. No men allowed. Just an estrogen-filled utopia where we can all finally live in peace.
Okay. She says as everything she's doing and using was built by men. Yeah. Imagine a state of only women. I give it about as good a chance as that was the British Survivor show. Well, Bear Grylls Survivor, whatever it was they did, where it was men on one island, women on another. Well, look how well that worked. Oh my God. Imagine. American Explorer. I know a nice island off the coast of India. Oh, no. I say we give them Oregon. Give them Oregon. Oregon's pretty much gone. Okay, sorry, the Eastern Oregonians. We will cut the state in half and give them the western half with Portland. We'll give them that because I want them close. And here's why. Because I want the amusement. I want to see up close this fail. I want us to have, this thing should have as many cameras in it as London. I want to see it. I want the downfall televised. I want that because I want to end this moronic, man-hate, false feminist bullshit. I'm done. I want to watch it. I want to monetize it. I want the world to see it. Done. End this shit. Let's do it. I'm all for it. We'll name the state of Oregon to Vaginagon or something like that. You know? Be sponsored by Kotex. Summer's Eve can sponsor the nightly viewing hour or whatever. Late night by Summer's Eve. Watch The Downfall. It would last about a week. I will say it. I'm not saying women are stupid, but they cannot do all the stuff the men can do. I would love to see it. Once they realize what they really have to do and what they've been getting for free from labor of people that have been doing this for 1,000 years or more, I would love to see it. I want it. I am demanding it. I will sign a petition for this. So, Cat Turd, you're wrong. Good luck with that. No, I want the petition. I want to sign for it. I think I may go try to help them do it. Because actively, this is going to be the best entertainment we've had forever. Hollywood keeps giving us shit. This will be gold. Imagine the amusement coming out of this. You will not sleep. You will be up 24 hours a day watching this. You will feel physically and mentally refreshed watching this. Oh, that will be good. There's already a state. It's called the state of delusions. Oh, she needs a kind of mental help. Oh, yeah. Definitely wouldn't miss Oregon. Yeah, I'd say half of Oregon, because half of Oregon wants to join Idaho. So, okay, half of it. I was thinking of North Sentinel Island. They wouldn't be heard from again. Yeah. Yep. All right. Hang on for a second. I got to text my wife. Let her know I'll be done here in a minute. Here in a few minutes. There we go. All right. But yeah, that one, I just thought you guys would get a giggle out of it because I want it. I apologize. I apologize. I won't blow it up. I'll be nice and leave it that small. And I did respond. That's not me, though. That's a new one. Jesus, a little warning before posting that shit. Oh, man. Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? Some of the comments. Oh, nice. I'd sniff it. Ew. Oh, come on. We had something good going here. Gorlock the Destroyer. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm a girl now. Ugh. Chris Christie. Ugh. Oh, no. No, but I think I commented something like, I did a Free Willy thing. I posted a Free Willy. Obviously, everybody else has been commenting since then. I posted a Free Willy meme with a kid, the whale jumping over. If you want to know what that is, look, it is what Gunther is asking here. He's asking that for a reason. Let's put it that way. His question has a basis for it being asked. So, yeah. All right, now we're going to move into a last little bit of craziness here. We're going to get out of here, guys, so please hit thumbs up if you haven't. All right, here's where we are in America. This is a show called Last of Us. It is based on a video game called Last of Us. The first one was good. The second one went off the rails due to DEI and crap. And unfortunately, that same creator's involved in this. Be prepared for this because this is where it's gone. And by the way, this is why this season of this show is dying. It is. So hold on to this level of stupidity and tell me if you can see why this season of the show has gone to hell.
So, we're having a baby. I mean, we and also, I guess, Jesse here. It was Jesse, right?
Her bisexual girlfriend here had relations with a guy, and now she is pregnant, and she's finding out. This girl, who's now her girlfriend, is finding out. So, watch this.
We're all having a baby. Holy shit.
Here it comes.
I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah. So, we're having a baby.
That's not the way it
Me
works.
and also, I guess, Jesse, or... It was Jesse, right? So we're all having a baby. Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad.
No, you're not. Explain biology. This is the shit they're pumping into our young people, to lefties' brains. This girl says she's gonna be a dad. That is not the way it works. My God. This is what they're doing to the kids today. Anybody can be a mommy. Nope. Anybody can be a daddy. Nope. That is ignorance, yes. Yeah, no kidding. That is nuts. That is crazy. The Les, lead character in HBO show The Last of Us, says she's going to be a dad when her bi girlfriend gets preggo. Yep, that is in the show. And they wonder why their ratings have gone to shite this season. The scary part is many buy into it. Yes, 100%. 100%, guys. So, I'm going to leave it with that little piece of mental rot. So, I apologize to do that to you, but I do have to get out of here. It is time to go do something with the wife and hang out, maybe walk some doggies. We'll see. See how awake she still is. But I thank you all very much for popping in. I've gone pretty long here. Ooh, what happened here? Did I lock up? Uh-oh. Did I lock up, everybody? Well, I'm still going on Rumble. Or am I? Hang on. No, Rumble's still going. What's wrong with YouTube? All right, there it goes. What the hell was that? Even YouTube's telling me to get off. Yeah, YouTube is looking nasty. At least on my screen. So I don't know what's going on because, man, I am 5x5 right here. And Jim Patterson, yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody tomorrow. If your mother is still alive, give her a call, stop over, give her a hug, give her some flowers, enjoy the fact she's still there. To my mother, I miss you. I just hope you're in less pain and doing better where you're at, honestly. But, boy, Dad could still use you. But, yes, happy Mother's Day. Thank you, everyone. All right, looks good. Sounds fine to you. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my end, but weird. Because my stream, my stuff up here is telling me I'm doing good. Okay, got me. All right, guys, thank you very much for hopping in. Sorry this went a little longer than I wanted to, but I appreciate your time. Thank you all. And I don't think we're going to do another one tonight, obviously. We are probably going to be doing a little bit of Mother's Day stuff tomorrow, maybe with my mother-in-law. I think I got to ask the wife for sure. Other than that, we may do a stream tomorrow afternoon. And Connie, I got in here earlier, hun. Look at that. Connie, man, you're a warrior. She was in here for my super early, late, whatever stream you want to call it, and then here. Thank you very much, everybody. You guys have all been epic. And thank you very much, American Explorer, for my comments over here. I totally appreciate that. I'm going to even say, I love it. Boom. It's nice to know the chat works over there, because sometimes there's at least 5 people over there right now. They don't chat. It's weird. Sometimes I wonder if Rumble's giving real numbers. But, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the mods. Thank you, everybody, for your great comments, your patience. Thank you for your insights and your participation. There is no stream. I don't care who you watch on YouTube. There is no good stream without you, an audience, without you participating, without you putting your ideas out there, without you chatting, without you helping. This is social. We don't have enough social interaction in our lives. And some people may not even consider this it, but it is. We really talk, get to know each other, chat back and forth, help each other, comment to each other, make each other laugh, make each other cry, make each other go, what the hell? This is social, and there is no stream anywhere. Mine, D-Day Cobra, Salty Crackers, anybody you like. I don't care if you're watching Saturday Morning Cartoon Max Out. Yes, that is a channel on YouTube. It plays Saturday morning cartoons where people chat. Saturday morning cartoons from the 70s and 80s. Oh, it's good. It's good to see. But people chat. So you are a stream. Not us mouthy suckers on here talking. All right. Jim Patterson, don't see any likes on your end. Sometimes you have to refresh. I'm unsure if they would come up. But let me see here. I can refresh over here and see what happens. Sometimes they don't show up on a live stream till afterwards, but I don't know. Or YouTube hates me. Let me see. I refreshed. I'm waiting for it to refresh. Waiting. And it shows 4 likes. That's what it's showing on my end right now on YouTube. Shows 4 likes. So please, if you haven't, please hit that puppy. But hey, it is what it is. I know likes are hard to get. They're even harder to get on Rumble. Sometimes I've got more views on Rumble, some of my videos than I do here, but the likes are very lacking. If you go watch Tim Pool, the watch to like percentage on YouTube is much better than like to watch percentage on Rumble. Rumble people don't want to pay attention and get into it. Steady boy. Dude. Salty Cracker is incoherent. He reads too much. I actually am a big fan of Salty. I know Jim is too. I can say that sometimes he can get a little too much at times. I would say that Salty sometimes, I watch his streams sometimes in bits. I can see sometimes where, yeah, that can get a little much at people. But he's built you got to give the man respect. He's really built something. And I think he freed a lot of YouTubers and people worried about things and showed that you can be less uptight or less, I don't know, less normal YouTube. How's that? But I get it, Occupational Forces. He's not for everybody. Of course, neither am I. I think Jim might agree with me. I would call myself salty light. How's that? I'm like that table salt when your cholesterol and your sodium levels are too high. How's that? Steady boy, sorry, buddy. I am just about to get off here. Okay, so now it shows 5 for you. All right, thanks, man. All right, by the way, Occupational Forces, thank you for being here, too. I appreciate it. Appreciate your comments and your time. And, guys, might be talking tomorrow afternoon or evening. We'll go from there. And I'm going to hop out of here. I know I keep saying it. I am horrible at leaving. I really am, because I love this crap. That's what my wife always tells me. Don't stress yourself. Just do it because you love it. And she's right. All right. Thank you, guys. Good afternoon. Good evening. Have a good rest of your day. Go look somebody else out there. If you're going to stay on YouTube, go see if D-Day Cobra is doing something or TP USA, or go look around. Find somebody else good to watch. And if I knew anybody, I would raid them, but I don't know anybody. If you do find somebody good, say, hey, Lyons Den sent us. Actually, you know what? I think I can do this. Hang on. I am horrible at this, but let me find out. Let me shrink me down. As soon as I figure out what I'm doing here. Actually, let's do this. Let's pull this up. I wonder who is on YouTube right now. I don't know how to initiate a raid, so don't even feel free to laugh at me. Let's see who's going to come up. Let's see if D-Day Cobra is live. I don't know. I like the guy, sorry. Nope, he's not live. Wow. Okay, well, he's not live. I don't know anybody else that would be live, so I apologize. But thank you very much, Occupational Forces. Salty is kind of like Don Rickles, not for everyone. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. So since I failed, I'm going to end on a fail. Here are the dogs and the wife getting restless. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much. And no joke, really. You guys have been amazing, and it's been fun. Thank you for entertaining me. How's that? You guys do. It's so stimulating, entertaining, interacting with you. Have a good one. Thank you, Connie. You are my road warrior, honestly.